Yes, people, welcome to another edition of From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio, hosted by myself, Flawless Mr. Take Note. And I'm also joined by one of my fellow co-hosts, Mr. I've seen more in the night than you've seen in your life, Stro.
Come on.
Yeah, me. JV is not here, but we are joined by two very special guests. So first is United Stand regular, United Central OG. Nuradin, what you saying? Welcome to the show. You good? Welcome back.
Yo, it's a blessing to be back. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man, it's
Especially
great.
on deadline day as well.
Yeah, man, transfer deadline day. That's what it
We
is.
got something special cooked up for deadline day.
Oh yeah, definitely. And of course, like I said, there is two guests. So welcome. You get me, my sarcasm city brethren, my brother in life in general.
My brother.
Get me, shout out Big Tox in the building as well. Welcome. This is the first time you've been on Tox.
I know, long time coming, man.
Yeah, it's been
Thanks
a long
for
time
having
coming.
me. Thanks
That's
for
what it
having
is.
me.
We will. So everyone who's locked in on YouTube, we will sort out the camera in a second. Yeah, as right on cue, Big S has just walked in as well. So shout out Big S in the building, Pi Radio hierarchy and all that. You know what I'm saying? But all right, what a crazy weekend of football. So I don't even know where to start. Shock result after shock result after shock result. You got United getting beat 6-1 at home to Spurs. Villa beating Liverpool by 7. Yeah, you got Everton winning again. West Ham, since David Moyes has not been there, winning games. You know what I mean? They beat Leicester 3-0 at home, which is crazy. That's absolutely nuts. So I think the only place to start is the United game, though. And in particular, let's get out of the way, Tux. We got to get out of the way. Like, we got to address the big elephant in the room. And I want to start about Patrice Evra and his response to it. So for someone who is as positive as Patrice Evra, to be broken like that after a match and also say to Sky, and you know he's on a lot of money as well, tear up my contract because I can't watch this anymore. Like, it's ridiculous. Tox, we'll start with you. So what was your thoughts in particular on what Evra stated?
It's summed up perfectly, visually, how we all feel. Like, this team ruins people's weekends. Every weekend, though, you get me? And it's like, I don't condone violence of any sort or whatnot, but like, these man don't understand when man pop up at Ed Woodward's house on some riot thing, you get me? Because it's like, you got to think every weekend, yeah, you man can put 76,000 people in a stadium. There's churches that can't do that. Like, this is a religion to some people, you get me? Like, you have the ability for me to be in a great mood, watch a game, and then just be vexed for the rest of the day. Every weekend, though.
Talk that.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I tweeted this, like, Evra is the most positive person you can meet. Yep. And you man broke Evra on TV.
Uncle Pat.
Yeah,
man's trying to rip up his own contract.
Yeah. The live.
Like, it's like, where does it end, man? It just gets worse and worse and worse. And it's like, even today, with the transfers, it's like, I see you man trying to move and shake now, but it's like, even the way you're doing that, it's just all janky. All the time it's just janky. I don't understand how this club's run. It's
too little,
weird.
too late. Nuradin, you're someone who's very vocal about these things, very vocal about the board, and you are Mr. Structure. So what was your thoughts, and we'll get to the game, we'll all discuss the game, but what were your thoughts in particular on Evra's reaction to it?
Well, most of you who are following United, if you're not even following United, you know that a week and a half ago, actually the last time he was on Sky, maybe 2 weeks ago now, the last time he was on Sky, he said what he said in it, you know what I mean, about David Moyes and Sahar, David Moyes' daughter and all that, you know what I mean? So my guy went home. He told the truth in it, so my guy went home.
Yeah, is that someone's charger? Sparks has just walked in the building, big up Sparks. Yeah, blessed for that, Sparks, appreciated.
Yeah, so basically when he then went home and he couldn't sleep, so he did this thing where at 3 o'clock in the morning he's there drinking tea out of Man United jug, and he's there spilling the beans in it, literally 20 minutes. It wasn't a rant, he was just explaining it, and he's basically saying what needed to be said. I mean, 80% of it I agreed with, and he said about the Glazers are good people, and then that's when he lost me. That's when I just turned it off, innit? You know what I mean? As soon as he said the Glazers are all right, you know what I mean? Joe Glazer is this, and I'm like, yo, come on, Patrice. You know you're looking for that further check down the future, you know what I mean, down the line. So, you know what I mean? You don't have to say that. But he told the truth about it. So, yesterday, seeing Uncle Pat, like you said, bro, one of the most optimistic, you know what I mean? The man that motivates most people on Monday mornings, man. Monday motivations. I love this game. That's Uncle Pat. That's what he does. And the man was literally in tears, almost. Honestly, he was in tears. Yeah. And then my guy used the analogy of Alexis Sanchez, just to stick it to the board again, and says, just like Sanchez when he signed for United, I want to rip up this contract, Sky contract, and I don't want to do Manchester United games anymore. Yeah. I mean, I'm ravaging the French accent, but that's what he's basically said. Yeah. And so when that, then you see that. Like, we see the visuals of that. Yeah. You see how every fan feels that supports Man United, whether in Manchester, whether in Timbuktu, bro. Yeah, that's how we all feel. People literally, and that's one of my lines I used to use. I always say Man United on the regular. I'm in a very abusive relationship with Man United because they ruin my weekends. They abuse me. They physically, emotionally abuse me.
Everything.
Every weekend. Everything. And you know what? I've got that Stockholm syndrome, innit? You know what I mean? Where I can't go anywhere. I can't get out. I'm in a trap. I'm in this trap, bro. It's this proper trap. So that's what Man United do. But
facts.
To me, it doesn't surprise me. And I won't go on, but you know what I mean? One of my names is AKA Mr. Structure. Yes. And I always say, if the structure ain't there...
That's how I know you. Yeah. Like I said to you when we first... Sorry to go back down memory lane. When we first had on the show, and it was you said on here, on the first show we had with the first lot of guests, shout out to Saeed and Aaron as well, and you said, I'm all about the structure. And I said, I know, I'm a fan. I've watched you. I know that you're all about the structure. Oh, yeah, I just want to shout out JV in the comments as well. He will be back next week, people. Don't worry.
Yo, big up JV, man.
He also said, yo, Tox, you look comfy doing this, fam.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
So George Wilson says, yo, Joey MUFC 95 says, man, like Nuradin. George F says, big up people. And Jaden says, big up guys. So salute to everybody who is locked in. If you're watching live now on YouTube, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the Pi Radio.
Share that YouTube as well also. If you can.
Yeah, share that as well because we here every single Monday. So, all right, let's break this down into the actual game.
It's like someone died.
It does have that feel, you know. It does.
Like, I've had like family members pass away and it felt like this. You get me? You know the way there.
Nah, not,
you know what?
Like, it's not nice.
Yeah, as extreme as that analogy is, I like the fact you're using that extreme analogy to show people how much it hurts us as Manchester United fans. Like, it hurts. Like, I woke up today still affected by this. Normally, I can wash off bad results. I've seen United get beat 6 by City. That was bad. I said I haven't felt this since we got beat 4 by Liverpool. I said that to Stroll earlier. That's the last time I felt this bad. But the thing is with that, at least with Liverpool, yes, it's terrible losing to them. They were going for the title. This is not even a great Spurs side. No one was, before the season started, no one was talking about Spurs even being in the top 4. Never mind winning Premier Leagues. If you get beat 8 by Bayern Munich, all right, we got beat by the best. We're getting beat by, they're not a great side. They're decent. That's it.
It's the manner of it as well. It's the goals are just. It's pub teamish.
Yes.
It's pub teamish. Yes. It's just a comedy of errors. You man make major money, fam. Like Harry Maguire, major money. It's just it's tough, man. It's tough. It's honestly tough.
Yeah, I couldn't believe what I was watching. So, Stro, give us your thoughts actually as well, because obviously you're the only non-United fan here. I want to get your view on what Patrice Evra said in particular before we break down the goals and get into the game.
You know what, I love Patrice Evra. As a Liverpool fan, I love him because one, he's honest. You can see he's got actual proper values, but he's a football head. He loves football. But when he speaks about football, he'll give you an insight which it'll make you think like, oh, I've not looked at it like that. Which is the problem I have with a few pundits on Sky. A lot of them don't do that. Neville does. Carragher does. Micah Richards now does. But the likes of Souness just doesn't do it. So when I see Evra and then Roy Keane, although they are affiliated with Manchester United, I enjoy watching them on screen because one, you know it's going to be funny, you know it's going to be laughs, but they'll give you a different insight and they'll give you a different opinion on the game which you probably wouldn't have looked at before. So I look forward to it. Seeing him like that, it hurt me, and I don't support Manchester United. I have no love for Manchester United. Whenever I was playing, regardless of all the silly Suarez stuff, I had no love for Evra because he played for Manchester United. Now he's on Sky. I absolutely love him. I love Gary Neville. And to see him like that, just literally deflated. You could just see he just didn't want to be there. He just wanted the ground to swallow him up. It was sad to see. It was, it's a mess.
I kept thinking, like, when they started talking Souness had a while where he was talking. I'm thinking, why is it not Evra? Like, why is Souness talking about the game right now? You want to hear from Evra.
Yeah,
and it's like, they was giving him time to get himself together. Like, they was giving him time to get himself together. Like, that's how distraught he was.
We needed time I needed time to get myself together. Because that happened and I'm like, all right, I got to do Sarcasm City. I'm on United Central with Nuradin and Saeed and then also the Football Terrace. When I started Sarcasm City, before I was talking to Sophie, he was just on before, and I was talking to Lindrix, I told him, I was like, I'm in a bad mood. I was in a bad mood. We just got beat 6. I plugged in my camera. My camera was all blurry for no reason, my webcam. I managed to sort it out. All I had to do was restart it, and I didn't figure that out. I was mad, and then eventually, like, you get me, like, I got over it, well, kind of talking about other stuff. But now you can even hear it in my voice now. It still hurts. And like you said, it's the manner in, not only by the team we got beat, it's the manner in which we got beat. JV said it here. I don't think I've ever seen a team go 1-0 up and get 6 scored on him. Like, we took the lead and started sharp. Matic, straight from the kickoff, whipped it around the corner, great pass, punched it into Rashford, and then we on the goal, we get the penalty. All right, Bruno scores, we 1-0 up, and then
it looked like Marshall had a point to prove as well. It's like, you're hearing Cavani's coming in. Him in his head is probably thinking, this means I'm getting pushed out to the left. You know, Ollie's very rigid in what he does. He can't come up with no other formation to fit people in, so he's going to stick with the 4-2-3-1. He's like, I'm getting shoved out to the left, so you know what? I've got a point to prove. We start like that. And then for it to just go on, sorry. To capitulate. So, all right, let's break it down. We'll get through this as quick as possible.
I have so many issues.
Yeah, because you're a manager, but like even I seen it. So the first goal, Maguire makes 3. I don't think I've ever seen, and I'm actually a fan of Maguire. I've never seen a defender make 3 mistakes in one goal, and equally, all of the mistakes gradually got worse. That's what made it bad. It was a comedy of errors, and it got worse and worse and worse. All right, the first header, it's not at the best height. It's kind of awkward. But what was you trying to do? Was you trying to nod it over Bailly? And it's like, aerially, that's your best attribute. So it's like, all right, we expect you to deal with that. Because normally you're good in the air. So the first one, if you clear that over Bailly's head, Bailly can turn, clear it whatsoever. So then you nod it onto Bailly. It comes back.
I can forgive you for that.
And then it's like, all right, we can forgive you for that because errors make.
Give you a blight.
The second one, just nod it back to De Gea. Just nod it back. Yeah, but all you have to do is just put enough pace on it to nod it back. Yes, it's awkward.
You're known for, like, people call you slabhead, you get me?
For a reason.
You're known for putting your head onto balls, like, and for you to just so timid, like, I don't understand.
That's the key.
The technique was wrong. That's what it was. The timing was wrong.
Timing's wrong, but you said it there. Timid. That is, whether you rate Maguire or you don't rate Maguire, that's one thing I would never associate with him. Him being timid. He always, even if he's made errors in the past, he's come flying out and attackers have knocked it through his legs and then he's gone, but at least he's come flying out with intent. It was Phil Jones-esque.
It was Phil Jones.
It was Phil Jones-esque.
Someone sent me a picture actually where it was like Scooby. It was like a Scooby-Doo picture in it. And like they unmasked the villain and it was Phil Jones under the Maguire mask. It was just like...
So then you get...
This is where it gets worse.
And then you don't nod it back. Shaw comes across. I already know because of what Shaw's like. He's not talking to Maguire because if Shaw's talking to Maguire and tells him, Harry, I've got this, I'm going to clear it, communicate. But you know what Shaw's like. And then for whatever reason, Maguire decides to haul down.
I'll tell you why.
And drag down.
No trust.
Yeah, that... I can guarantee that Shaw did say, I've got it. I can guarantee it. Maguire does not trust Luke Shaw.
He thinks Shaw's a donkey. You only do that when you don't trust who's by your side.
Yeah, that's true. Because
so it's a case of, all right, you can't deal with it. I'm going to have to deal with it myself.
Yeah.
I'll sort my mistake out.
Yeah.
Move out the way. But in essence, it's just messed everything up because the goal comes from you. Just let him clear it. He's in a perfect position to clear it.
But that goes to show, like you said, it's the lack of trust in him. Because I remember the game, I think it was the first game back after lockdown that Tottenham. United played. And no, not Tottenham. The first home game, sorry, it was one of the games, Crystal Palace, I think it was. And it was from the kickoff, it was early in the game. And Maguire's knocked a pass into Shaw, and Shaw's almost got tackled. And you hear Maguire shout and say, wake up. You don't say it like that. I'm removing, you get me, the curse word. But that's what he said. He told him, wake up. So it just goes to show, like, we all know Shaw's not good enough. But yeah, he continues to play. Nuradin, give us your thoughts on the first goal. We're going to break this down.
We're going to break it down, but I actually didn't predict the 6-1, but I predicted that we're shambles. Everybody was cheering, going, yeah, we got a penalty, Fergie time. We We got a penalty at Fergie time. Even only Man United can do that. And I went on Twitter. I went live on Twitter. And I was absolutely fuming because I'm like, how is Brighton over happy? Brighton make 18 chances, right? And hit the bar and post 5 times, right? Since stats have been collected, that's record. Man United hold record, right? Of being the only team to have another team that's attacking them that much. They've hit the bar and the post 5 times. So I went on, like I said, live on Twitter, and I was like, we are in trouble. And I used key words. I said, other teams who are going to play us watching this game are licking their lips. I didn't predict 6-1, but I knew if we come up against any team who can finish, that we were going to be over, because there's nothing that Ollie or the coaching staff can do, but they can't go on the pitch with them. They can prepare the players all they want, but they can't go on the pitch with them. Now, since this happened, that first goal, obviously, it's one phase of play in it, so it's one continuous phase of play. 3 mistakes, right?
Yes.
And the last one was just that my guy's in the octagon, you know what I mean? My guy's in UFC. My guy's on UFC. And you actually see Shaw balancing, so he chases the ball, or he chases the ball, and he's literally balancing on the right to wind up the left foot to just smash it out of the way.
He had it.
Right? My guy just grabs him. Like, you know what? Grabs him. And then people are like, well, on the WhatsApp saying to him, you know what? Maybe he's got, PTSD. Maybe because of how man reffed him up in Mykonos. And I'm like, listen, he was doing this already before he even went to Greece. Listen, I remember the Southampton game, yeah?
That corner.
That corner. He's marking our own player.
He's marking Wan-Bissaka.
He's marking our own player. That's what he's doing. He's marking our own player. And I'm like, Harry, but there's a bit for me to it in terms of what I'm trying to see. I mean, I could slay him, I could say whatever, but I just think him and Wan-Bissaka, they've never played 60 games, bro. They've never played with a level of pressure where every game matters at Man United. Leicester, you're not under that same pressure. At Crystal Palace, you're not playing. Wan-Bissaka's played almost double the amount of games. Harry Maguire's almost double the amount of games. Leicester are not in the FA Cup till the quarterfinals, or they're not in the League Cup till the final. They get out early, right? Both these teams. But that's what you're supposed to have, a squad and backup. But coming to that goal, I mean, I just see it and I'm just like, I can't. But then, you know what? I'm one of those. Because I already know it's coming, bro. And people accuse me of being negative when I tell people it's coming. I tell it, I'm like, we're in trouble. That's what we're in trouble. Any team comes against us, we're going to be in trouble. And that's exactly what happened. So am I shocked? No, I'm not shocked. Am I hurt like the rest of you? Of course I'm hurt, because it was scumbaggery Jose Mourinho Tottenham side that didn't even go out of second gear. I won't mind if they were playing ball.
Yeah. I get what
They
you're
did
saying.
not take us apart the way Brighton took us apart, bro. Brighton schooled us. Brighton were doing triangles, then switching the ball out from one side to the other side, and literally playing one-touch football through our midfield. Tottenham were not doing that. But to me, it's the second goal is one of the most worst goals
Alright, that's
ever.
where it was going to go. So go on, Nuradin. Give
The
us your
second
thoughts on
goal,
the second goal.
you know
I got
what?
my thoughts on it, but yeah,
You know what? I
agree with
played Sunday League, right? I played Sunday League and kid football when I was a kid. One of the first things you always ever coach to, like that's the basics. I'm talking about like neighborhood football, is when you give a free kick away, stand on the ball. That is the most basic. And a professional footballer, if you do not know that, if that's not like bread and butter to you, if that's not like, you know what I mean, just like getting up in the morning and washing your face, that's gotta be second nature to you.
Yes.
That's automatic.
Like
it's
putting on
auto.
like putting on your socks in the morning.
Exactly. It's auto, bro. It's like lifting your head off the pillow in the morning before you get up, man. That's what it's auto. You don't think about it, you just do it auto, right? That's how it is, right? And none of them did that. He stood there, and not even that. As a centre half, you think, I'm gonna go back in possession. I'm gonna go back into position, but get one of the other mans, right? Get one of the other mans to say, stand on the ball. As a leader, as a captain, you go, stand on the ball.
Yes.
Whoever's close there, stand on the ball, and then you get back in possession. If you're thinking about that, is your possession. They've got a free kick. My guy is in a lackadaisical mood. Like, he's just like taking a nice, lovely beach walk in Mykonos. You know what I mean? That's how it is. Like, it's just like a lovely stroll by the beach. That's what the mentality was, bro.
Even Maguire bundling him over. Cause I'm watching it again here. And Maguire bundling him over in the first place for the free kick. It's like, your head's gone.
Yeah.
Your head's totally gone. You're the captain of Manchester United. And your head is totally gone. Like, there was no need for the free kick there in the first place.
And that was my thoughts on the goal. Oh, yeah, it's transfer deadline day. So that is why if you are watching on YouTube, you will see Straw has the yellow tie. Him, he's out here with the silk tie. The silk tie. Because it is transfer deadline day.
Yo, that Muppet on Sky ain't got nothing on you done.
Did you just tie that then, or was it already tied?
No, I had this prepared, man.
Yeah, this prepared.
Prepared this earlier like it was Art Attack.
What we will
The
be,
Windsor knot on that.
yeah, so what we will be doing, obviously, during the show is Stroll will be keeping you updated with any transfers for any of the major clubs, or any club in the Premier League, actually. So, yeah, onto the second goal, because that was my thoughts on it, Tox, when I first seen it. The first mistake, Maguire, again, a comedy of errors. The first mistake he's got. Harry Kane is not going anywhere.
And
Why
the funny
him?
thing is,
you stood him up. He's the right side. Go on, Tox.
Like, I know you, man, seeing this, you get me? Like, you seen him fouling before he fouled him, you get me? You knew when you seen him going in, he was gonna foul him, you get me? You seen it already, his head was gone. And that's the problem with these, man. It's like, we know how stupid you, man, are, you get me? It's like, you seen the foul before the foul, you get me? You knew he was gonna foul him before he got there.
And one of the things is that Harry Kane is one of the best in the world at literally, that's part of his game, literally protecting the ball.
Yeah, because he manipulates his body to protect the ball.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and the thing is, he's going in the direction, he's going away from goal. You don't need to foul him at this point. It's 1-1 at this point.
Near
Don't
halfway,
foul him.
near halfway line, bro.
So it's like, all right, you fouled him. You made that one error. Second error it's free because Wan-Bissaka's there and Harry Maguire's there. The free kick's there. You see Harry Kane get up, stand on the ball. You can stand on the ball. You can pick the ball up. You can kick the ball away. You can push Harry Kane.
All of that.
You got 4 options.
All of
Pick
that.
one. Literally 4 options.
Everyone's a switch,
like
though.
United's transfer targets when we could have picked a DM. You pick one in it. You got Partey. You got Gay, who was at PSG. You've got Ndidi. It's like pick one because we need a DM, but we'll get on to transfer targets shortly. So that's another mistake right there. Then Bailly and Shaw aren't switched on either. So your whole back 4 in this second goal have made mistakes. Some of them more than 1 or 2. It's like 6 or 7 mistakes.
To be fair
one
to
goal.
Shaw and Bailly, they're thinking somebody's standing on the ball and they're thinking, right, we'll just get back in possession. You're not thinking that in milliseconds because you're expecting your fellow pros is a trusting in it.
Yeah.
That somebody's going to stand on the ball, somebody's going to do that. And you already know, son. One of the things people were like yesterday, were like, oh Solskjaer's bowed down to pressure and played Bailly instead of Lindelof. I'm like, no, he played because he knew Jose was doing all of this madness, right? Saying, oh, Son's out, Son's this. He knew we're going to need somebody on that side who's quick. The thing one of the things about Bailly is that he's quick. But he's quick, but not that quick, bro. Because you see Harry Kane literally gets up and straight away turns, puts the ball down and passes it. Defense is not set.
What I want to say about the trust thing, as we seen with Maguire with the first goal, it's like, you lot know that these defensively, the trust isn't there. So, like, I'm not blaming Bailly and Shaw, like, mainly, but I'm like, even if one of you two is switched on, maybe that goal doesn't happen. It's just the fact that it's all 4 of them. All 4 of you have made one or more mistakes.
That there, to me, is a lack of leadership. Straight away.
Someone, that's it, sorry to cut you off. Somebody take ownership of the situation.
Yeah.
Somebody lead. Somebody say, shouting, stand on the ball. It's quiet, so we can hear you lot shouting now. We know, it picks up. I hear it many a time when I'm watching games and you just hear people shouting and things of that nature. Go on, Stu.
No, but this is the thing I don't get, because you see me when I'm doing my team talks.
Yeah.
I literally say, if you stop them taking a quick free kick and you get booked, I'll pay the yellow card. I don't care. Because I want my team to be able to set back, get organised, and make sure we don't concede sloppy goals. It is an awful goal to concede for a team like Manchester United. Maguire stood right there.
Stroke, can you tell
something.
people what league you're in, bro? And you know that, yeah? What league you're in. Please tell them. Please tell them. You're literally paying for your players.
Yeah.
If they get a yellow card. So
I'd happily pay that, and I've said this to them. If any of them get booked because it's unsportsmanlike conduct for taking a quick free kick, I will pay the yellow card, and they know that, because I don't want to be conceding goals like that. Because it ruins my day.
It's just football IQ. You even see it at, like, even throw-ins. Like, throw-ins aren't really a danger, but you see people, like, players refuse to let other players take a quick throw-in.
Yes.
Exactly.
It's a throw-in.
Yes.
throw it well behind them.
Yeah. Or what you do, I do
Hold it.
I do this when I play
Hold it,
football.
walk away with the ball.
You walk away with the ball. What I do is I throw them the ball, but I just put air on it. So it goes up and it dips and it takes time to come down. Even I do that. At my level,
stuff.
at Saturday League level, I'll pick up the ball and throw it to him, but like I put air on it so it goes up and it takes ages to come down. Because you see professionals do that. They'll pick up the ball and just lob it in the air.
Yeah, it's like if a ball lands to my feet and I know they're about to take something, I'm doing kick-ups with it.
Yeah.
Just to let a couple of them get set back.
Yeah,
I'm not letting them take a quick throw. You're like, come on now.
It is what
Pick
it
up.
is. But yeah, like I said, salute to everybody who is tuned in, whether you're locked in live on the YouTube or you're locked in via the DAB radio.
Bit of news.
Go on, strong.
Chris Smalling to Rome is officially confirmed and done.
Loan or
No, 15
transfer?
million.
15 million done.
All right, okay.
50 million plus add-ons.
Yeah.
So they're reckoning about 20 million.
Yeah, about 20
20
million.
Chris turned vegan and said, I'm out. I'm thinking clearly. I'm thinking clearly now.
Yo, have you seen
I don't
Rome?
need the stress in my life.
Have you ever been to Rome?
Have
Have you ever been to Rome? Yo, Rome's cultured, mate. Cultured city, mate. He's on that culture thing, mate.
He was like,
Bit of
forget all this.
sunshine.
Playing
Yeah,
next
I'm
to
saying,
Shaw and that.
yeah,
Playing
yeah.
on the Ollie. He was like,
I'm
I'm out. For me to get the blame and that and get hauled down by Maguire. No, I'm out. He was like, this is not it. This is not it. But yeah, as we were saying, obviously there is 4 of us, so we will get to all the comments we can. But if you do drop a super chat, we will stop whatever conversation we are having and talk, answer any question that you have or whatever suggestion you make. Go on, Strong.
Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Fulham on loan.
That's a good signing for them.
That was coming though, wasn't it?
That's a good signing because they look dead and buried. They definitely need Ruben Loftus-Cheek 1000%. Oh yeah, shout out Josh as well. He said big up fellas and shout out
Yeah,
to the
salute
Sarcasm
Josh
City
always,
team.
man.
Yeah, No Beef Podcast. We see you everywhere. We inside. Salute to you also as well. Yeah, JV says Smalling's on. What do you say? Pierre Pastor and them things.
Yo.
Now you're a choker.
Yeah.
You're a
Big
choker.
time, big
Is
time.
what it is. So yeah, what was the third goal? I'm trying to erase
The-
these from my
The
memory.
card after that, wasn't it?
So all right, so there was the red card for Martial
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the referee had. This is where consistency doesn't lie in, and I'm not saying it just because I'm a United fan. Either they both get red carded, or they both get yellow carded, or they both get a talking
Yeah,
to.
yeah, exactly.
What is going on? Where is VAR at this point? That's what VAR is for.
Who was the referee? The referee's that man from Ultragam, innit? He's that guy from Ultragam, innit? And you know that he already seen that Jose coming out at halftime or a bit after the game slating him because obviously any time that guy referees our games, right? Stroh, you can pull him up his name for me, because I've just forgot his name.
It's
But basically, any time he referees any of our games, the whole media, everybody basically accuses him of being a United fan. So obviously, he's gonna send Martial off, and Martial knows not to do that. But if you see what Lamela did, that is a red card itself. But then Martial, I'm sorry, we were talking before. You were saying that he's too pumped up because he's Jose and that. Sometimes as a footballer, you could be too pumped up.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
again, no leadership, isn't it?
Anthony Taylor.
Anthony Taylor, because he's from Ultragam. Yeah, he's from Ultragam, right?
Season ticket holder.
That's what I'm saying to you, because he has to, innit? Yeah, because he supports either City or United. We all know, but he has to go. I'm an Ultragam guy. You know what I mean? He has to say that because then he won't get the matches in it, the big games, and you know already that man's seen the headline. Obviously, Jose slating him, but I'm like, all you have to do is you look at again Maguire's body language. If you looked at that one, Pogba there arguing with the ref, Maguire is about 10 yards, 15 yards away with his hands on his hips, just like that. just like,
Just watch it.
just like that, bro. Just like that. Still in Mykonos, mate. I'm still in Mykonos. I'm still on that beach. I'm still walking. I'm still having a nice little midnight stroll on that beach. And that to me showed the lack of leadership, because what you should be doing, getting around that referee and saying to him, referee, go and look. Go and look at the monitor. Look at the monitor. Because then if the referee looks at the monitor, then he will be able to see, you know what, you're both off. And then we've got even game, because he's like, he sometimes was playing as a number 9. Harry Kane's dropping into the hole. So that means they both go off. That's 10-man game then. Do you know what I mean? But that didn't. But Martial, for me, is not a kid anymore. And the fact of the matter, as a professional footballer, because this is where you are the professional. That's why you get paid a big bucks, bro. You are the professional. One thing you don't do, you don't act like you're in a club or you're in the pub and man just spilled some drinks onto your brand new Nikes. You know what I mean? You can't be pushing, man, or even raising a hand to man. You can't do that. You can't do that.
The smart thing to do is, if I've said this all the time.
You know what? You know what smart would have been? If you would have gone to the referee and said, referee, look, he just hit me.
Yeah.
You don't have to go down like Lamela did.
I think it was just like a reaction, innit?
It
Like,
was
I
a
think
natural reaction,
because
yes.
he hit him back so quickly to me, and I can only talk as the guy in the pub or the club. You get me? But it's like he hit him back so quickly. It's like that was just a reaction to me. He's hit you in the face. He's just like give him a quick slap quickly, and it wasn't a thought process. It wasn't. Obviously, like we're not disputing that it's a red card, but what's VAR there for? Are they not supposed to be like, hey, ref, you've missed something here?
Yes. So this is the problem with VAR, right? VAR, the rules are if it's a clear and obvious error, right? So when VAR look at it and they see Martial punch slapping because he went to initially think it and he closed it, so he realised as it was too late. Because you can tell it's just a split second reaction.
To me, it's a natural reaction.
Yeah, it is, but that's what I mean. That's why you see him try to move his hand so it's not an actual punch and he tries to slap him in the end. So that's fine, right? This is the problem though, right? is when that happens, VAR should be at Anthony Taylor's ear and basically turn around and say, look, it's a red card. You're right with what you're saying, but you need to go to the monitor because you need to look at what caused it and you need to see what Lamella's done in the first place.
Yes. Exactly.
That is how VAR should be used and used properly. And one thing I will say is VAR this season has actually been good. The fact that, for example, the red card Walker Peters, where he went over to the monitor and he overruled it. They're starting to use VAR right. Why? Because VAR was threatened to be taken off the Premier League because they weren't using it right in the first place. So what's changed? In one weekend, fair enough. You changed the handball rule, which I like because the handball rule. I'll come on to that in a second.
Yeah, that's confusing me even further because I didn't know what it was like before they changed it. So now they've changed it again. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's handball anymore.
It's like stop tinkering with the game. Man.
Yes,
like it's okay as it is.
So then basically, right. But this is whoever's at Stockley Park, whoever is the video assistant referee and his assistant there, you've missed this. Yeah. This is a catalogue of errors. And we're not just playing with anything. You can lose someone the job. You can lose someone their position in a team. There's a lot of things you can do.
Basically, people's livelihoods and reputations are riding on certain decisions and things of that nature. Yes, Martial shouldn't have done what he's done, but like you said, what is VAR there for? My point on it is, even though Martial's reacted, and I get it, because I think most people would react like that, is why I say to footballers, I say this to people in my side of the team, instead of arguing and getting sent off, do him in a tackle. And when I say that, don't go over don't two-foot him, you get me, by his thigh. I'm saying go over the ball and leave some on him. If you are that mad and that irate, be smart about these type of things.
But I think this was premeditated. I think Jose knows the mentality. Jose knows every player's mentality. And he knows that Martial is the type of guy to react quickly, right? So he's properly said to Lamela, right, you know what? At one moment in the game, where something's happening, try to get under his skin because he will react.
That's a good point. He will react. Not even that type of player as well.
Bro, I seen that from coming. Soon as he's done it, I'm like, Lamela don't usually do those things. Yeah. He's not that type of player. He rolls around, but he's not that type of player that to do that, to start to fight, to instigate those things. But that was a targeted, premeditated thing. And then you see how Jose's hugging him down the line. You know what I mean?
Job hugging well done,
him. Because Martial is fiery. I just want to go on.
Jose is he is the man of the dark arts, bro. Dark arts. But he is the man of the dark arts, bro.
But this is where Ollie needs to take accountability. I seen the Prime documentary. I'm assuming you've watched it. You've watched it. The first thing...
I just want to say, you're giving Ollie a credit. I don't know if he's watched it or not.
No, it's not that.
I legit don't know if he's watched it. To me, you watch that. If I'm in the Premier League, I'm watching that.
Exactly, but this is the problem that I have with Manchester United in the way that the club's run from top to bottom, right? Is the second you see that Prime documentary, you know he's got bad blood towards Manchester United because of the way they ended, the fact that he wanted his targets, he didn't get them, and he feels like he was hung out to dry, right? You then hear him say, I'm not going to say it because obviously it was quite explicit, the words are, good boys don't win football matches, you need to be nasty.
You need to be nasty.
So you know he is going to do stuff because like Nuradin said, he knows the fundamentals, he knows the mentality of the players. The first thing you say in your team talk is, listen, they're going to try and get under your skin. They're going to try and wind you up. They're going to do little stuff off the ball. You focus on playing football because if you get the ball down and you play football, we are a better team than them. We are at home. We implement our style on them. We do not let them come and impose on us. It's a simple team talk. Where's the team talk from?
Nothing about Ollie makes me feel that he's ever going to have that form of team talk with anybody in it. Like, so you don't show me anything that makes me feel like he has that type of sense or logic in him.
That's the problem.
But bro, even if he did, I'm telling you now, some players when they get on that pitch, referee can, the manager can tell them 10 times. They just
still capitulate.
They just capitulate.
Yeah, and that's why I don't.
Especially if Martial is overhyped already, like he's thinking, Mourinho, I'm gonna show you.
And that's why I don't blame it solely on the players. I don't blame it solely on Ollie. I don't blame it solely on the board. It's different. Every game to me is different. Yes, the players were terrible. All of them from 1 to... Matt De Gea was okay. The rest of them from 1 to 10, absolutely terrible. Yes, Ollie, we know his deficiencies. Yes, the board, we know their deficiencies. Group, like the club is just being run terribly from top to bottom and it's showing on the pitch. The results are showing because like I've said with Ollie, United still do have a quality players. We still have a high caliber of players. There's no way that should be a 6-1 game. Because same way if Manchester United won 6-1, we'd all be praising the players and praising Ollie. So therefore, if we lose 6-1, you should criticise the players and criticise Ollie. Like, to me, that's only fair. And then you look at the game and be like, did Ollie say... I like the team he picked. But then as soon as it's not working, do something different. I know you have difference in that. I like the team. It wasn't the perfect
Van
team.
der Beek should have played.
I wouldn't have played Matic and Pogba, but I know a manager's never going to pick the 11 I want to see. So I'm like, okay, if you pick 9, I like that Bailly was in there. I'm like, okay, that means you're learning. Just want to shout out Trigger Kim. He says, big up to you. He says, big up to y'all and big brother Nuradin. He's watching live in Kenya.
Big up.
He's watching from the motherland, you know.
Yo, big up, man. East Africa in the house, mate. East Africa in the building and also in the house, man. Trust me.
I love that, man. All the way from Kenya, you know. That's crazy.
Yeah, salute, man.
That's crazy. All right, what was the...
So the point I'm going to make, right, it's the lineup. Van der Beek, since he's come on, he's looked the most energized player, right? Obviously, the Dutch league got wrapped up by the government, so he's not played for 6 months or whatever. But since he's trained with the Dutch team, they've had that international, you can see the enthusiasm and the adrenaline to come and join and play for Man United. And every time he's come on, he's looked like the man's got energy. He looks like he's got energy. So yesterday, I'm looking at him thinking, Pogba's been lethargic, but the man's had the corona. The man was unfit for 8 months of the season before, and then for the since the project restart, he's played 9 or 10 or 11 games in a row. So you take the man out, right? Get Van der Beek in there, because one of the things was psychologically, Van der Beek is the guy that destroyed Tottenham at their ground. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those defenders know his movement. He's that level of that. So yesterday, that's who would have played. And plus, defensively, he would give you more energy. So for me, Van der Beek not starting. As soon as that not started, I was like in midfield. I'm like, Pogba is legit. You know when Pogba's on and when Pogba's not on. And actually, Pogba is the kind of guy that you know what? Anytime he's been a sub for Man United, when he comes on, he's the type of guy that will actually have more energy to change the game and to bring something. Right, it's coming on.
Something different.
Yeah. He
He's a threat.
he can come on and then he can go up the pitch if United are losing. You know what I mean? So that to me yesterday was a big miss, and that I always said, I am one of those people that I always have to give the context and go, I'm not Ollie out just for having Ollie out here, because I don't think Woodward should have the choice to sack the manager and hire a new one. Fair. Because he can't do that no more. Do you know what I mean? We are the Wolf of Wall Street FC. That's who we are, really. You know what I mean? We're run by bankers, Richard Arnold, Matt Judge. You know what I mean? Ed Woodward, all of them bankers from Bristol University.
You know what's crazy?
Bristol University.
I didn't even know who Matt Judge was until someone DM'd me the flights. I can't remember when we were signing Donny van der Beek. So it's a random fan, salute to you. I can't remember your name. DM me and was like, sent me the flights and was like, yeah, Matt Judge
tracking it and everything.
Yeah, he's gone. He sent me the flights like to and from. Like I thought I was missing a flight at the airport. He was like, Matt Judge to wherever he went, to Amsterdam, I think he went, and he was like, yeah, he was stopping off in Berlin. I was like, this is crazy.
Listen,
go on.
just to finish my point. The thing that what I was saying that was that, to me, I would criticize Ollie for the decision making, the substitutions, but Donny van der Beek is a level baller. He's better than everybody on our bench. So you start him and Pogba or Bruno. You should be able to switch them around. One of you rest on the bench for this game, and I'll bring you one. The other one plays.
I wouldn't have started Pogba.
Yeah. So Van der Beek plays. Van der Beek plays because you see Pogba, the impact he had on the game against Brighton midweek, right? So bring him on again till he gets proper match fit. That's what you do, especially where the areas you need him to operate. You're getting him to operate on that pivot, right? Because he wants to be on the ball, and that's the only way he can get the ball in it. So he's the best player on the ball for us to be able to play those passes. But at the end of the day, for me, I always said, I've questioned Ollie, and I will continue to question Ollie. But the fact that the matter that it's too easy for everybody, from every Man United fan, to go Ollie out. Because I understand where that comes from, because football fans are conditioned. We're all conditioned because when things are going bad, manager goes, CEO never goes. You know what I mean? The board never go, or the owners never go. The manager goes. So that's what we're conditioned to. But Man United fans, I would advise you, all of you, to take a stop, because sacking manager, we've seen it already. The experienced Van Gaal. We already had the Moyes, the potential, even though he was dead food, man. You know, you don't even get me started on him. And then we had Mourinho, Mr. Wikipedia winner. Do you know what I mean? The man who's won it all. And then he couldn't fix it, and none of them were backed. So again, I would say it's Ollie to blame, responsibility 100%. And to be fair to him, you know, he held up his hand. He said, I picked the team, and it was He faced up. But what was the most cowardly thing, though, bro? Club captain sends Luke Shaw out to come and speak to us.
That's not good.
Madness, bro. I never call anybody a coward yet. It's very difficult for me to call another human being coward or accuse somebody of cowardice. But Harry Maguire, bro, more than anything he did in the game, that was the biggest cowardice. Then he seen Rashford put a statement out on Twitter. Then he followed.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, you ain't no leader, mate.
Yeah,
You gotta be the
that's what I mean.
first.
You need to come out,
He
face
should
up
be
the
the one
cameras.
setting the example, not Rashford. Like, how are you gonna do it after Rashford does it? Do you know what I mean? That's
Bear in mind,
a true
Rashford's still
leader.
a child, you get
That
me?
is a true
Yes,
leader.
he's a youth.
Man's
He's a
still a
youngster.
child, you get
There's
me?
no way, even though he's been
no
around,
way.
you're the captain, you're older, you're a senior player. Take senior priority. Like we talk about taking leadership on the pitch for the first 2 goals that we've mentioned. Take leadership off the pitch. You should be the first person to come out.
I wouldn't
and
even
talk
feel
in the
right
comments.
within myself.
No,
If
I wouldn't.
Rashford
Nah.
came out and spoke before me or somebody else, I wouldn't even feel right.
Not
I'm
at all.
still captain.
If I'm captain of something or I'm the leader of something or whatever, if it tanks or there's a bad performance, I'm the first person to apologise to whoever needs to be apologised to, fans, customers, whatever. And then I'm going to take that on me because, like you said, that's just me naturally. It's like, all right, we need to do better. Someone said we've made 2 we've only played, 4 or 5 matches and already 2 apologies. Apologies after the Crystal Palace game now, this. And I said this, I tweeted
Apologies
this out.
FC now.
Yeah.
That's who we are, bro.
We are
Sorry
sorry
FC.
We are sorry FC. And I said
My
this
bad FC, yeah?
on that performance, I said that's the type of performance that gets managers sacked.
yeah.
Because people say, and I agree with this, Ollie's a great man manager, the players love him, etc., etc. To me, it looked like the players were done with him at that point. If that's Mourinho in charge and we get beat 6-1 like that, everyone's talking about Mourinho's lost the dressing
that's
room.
true, that's true.
And then we've heard as well,
Exactly.
once I'll let you go, Tox, and then we've heard as well, Bruno and Maguire supposedly got into it at half
they're
time.
bust up.
And that's why Bruno was subbed off, which I understand if you're losing 4-1 at half time, somebody needs to get dug out.
Yeah,
Somebody needs to, there has to be
but
arguments.
we've seen Bruno do this before.
Yeah,
to
with Lindelof. Yeah, go on.
Because this is the thing, Gary. It's Bruno has got such high standards, right? As a player, what he expects from his team.
He's not tarnished by our mediocrity yet, you get me? Like, he's coming in and he don't like it, you get me? Like, other man will be okay with it, you get me? He's like, nah.
He's got a certain standard that you have to
Yeah.
live up to, and I respect that.
Same with Donny van de Beek, you get me? Like, we like him, but it's like, in reality, he's only doing basic stuff. Like, he'll pass and then he'll move.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
his movement's great, but that's basic, you get me? Like, that will go in like a year or 2 of being here, you get me? Like, he'll stop moving at some point, innit? Like,
Nah,
I
wish
he will stop moving at some point, innit? But it's just like, you do get tarnished by our mediocrity. It's like, with Ollie, like, the players look like they gave up on him, but
Yes.
for me, it's like, I understand what you're saying about we can't always be wanting to get rid of the managers, but for me, the hierarchy is a hierarchy. Glazers ain't going nowhere. Woodward, for all intents and purposes, looks like he ain't going nowhere. We need at least a manager that can try and make something out of nothing, and you get managers that can do that, you get me?
And this is exactly what I
And
was
the
saying
players must
yesterday.
get vexed with that. It's like, we have no right winger. Play a system where we don't require a right winger like that, then you get me. We had no number 10 before Bruno came in.
Yeah.
He's still every week. Lingard in the 10,
Pereira
Mata in the 10, Pereira in the 10. It's like, change the system, bro.
And here's the point, right? From a management point of view, I look at your squad, right? Like you said, you've not had a right winger for God knows how many years, yeah? Right? At what point... So, for example, you played us Old Trafford last season. What did you go with?
3-5. We go with the 3-5-2. Old Trafford. I can't remember.
3 centre-backs,
Yeah,
2 wing-backs, which
Yeah.
pushed on.
Yeah.
You then
We
had...
countered your tactics.
You then had 2 up top and 3 in midfield.
Yeah.
Now, for all intents and purposes, let's say I ran Manchester United for a few days, yeah? I would go with the 3 at the back because it gives Maguire a bit of stability. Also gives you defence a bit of stability, right? So you go Lindelof one side, Bailly one side, whatever. Wan-Bissaka was one of the wing backs because he can operate up and down because of his fingers. You've now got Telles. You put Telles up and down, which then means that if you're not playing him in a 4, because like we discussed off air, positionally Telles isn't great.
No, it's not.
But then you still got stability of one of the centre backs there
That can
to
scoot
cover it.
over. Yeah.
You then play Van der Beek and Pogba, Bruno just in front of him. You then play Martial and Rashford or Greenwood as a 2. That works.
Yeah.
How is nobody seeing this?
We've
Yeah.
got
But he's done it. But he's done it
It's
before. He's done it
simple.
against Chelsea and we beat them.
There you
We
go.
went away to Chelsea.
So why is he moving away from it?
He did all this before he had the job permanently.
Yeah, he was making
when he
changes.
was caretaker.
I remember you going on about this.
We kept playing these fluid, exotic formations.
Like
we was rocking up with diamonds one game.
Lingard in the false 9.
Yeah, 4-3. Yeah, false nines. We had Lukaku on the right wing on his own. Just stay there to win it. We had these exotic, fluid formations, and then he got the job and it stopped. I'm like, you've got Martial and Rashford. We don't have a right winger. Play 2 up top. Then man can run the channels. There's your
my
whip.
point. But this is the problem, and this is why he doesn't do it, because when you're the caretaker manager And when you're the actual manager,
Different pressure.
you've got nothing to lose being the caretaker manager in his position, being a legend of the club, and the fact that he is a fan, because you see him sat there, he's a fan, he's got everything to lose in this
As
situation.
JV would say, he's a fanager. That's what he is. That's what JV calls him. He says a fan who's a manager. He sits there looking like us.
Bro, you got nothing to lose now, because if you don't think Woodward would hang you out to dry, he's done it already, basically. You get me?
And
So-
you hit the nail on the head, Tuck. Sorry to cut you off when you stated, yes, the situation that he's in. I always say this: Ollie has not got the best possible platform to succeed. No, but like you said, let's make the best out of nothing.
Yeah.
Even if I said this yesterday when I was on the lives, even if United yo-yo like Chelsea did, and one year we win the Premier League, the next year we're 10th. The next year after we win the Champions League, the next year we're 7th. I would take that rather than this.
Oh, that's not happening, bro.
Yeah, that's what
just saying.
this is what I'm saying. It's not.
That's
because
nowhere near.
but like one thing I always say, Manchester United will always be Manchester United in terms of the caliber of player we can attract. People talk like, our team's not the greatest. No, I'm not saying it's a Premier League winning side, but there's still quality in that side.
But the difference,
our front three is incredible.
Bro, the difference is that Chelsea, one of the clubs that people go, but they're freak of nature. In the last decade, they've won the league. They've gone there. They've won the Europa League. They've won the, you know what I mean? They won the Champions League, right?
Win everything.
You know what? With different managers, do you know why? When you've got the owner who is a fan of Chelsea, he's like a diehard, and he will put every penny he's got into that club. And then my guy, we don't even know their sporting directors. We don't even know their football directors, because these guys are secret. And then my guy has got consultants all over the world who advise him to buy players. One thing about Chelsea, when the recruitment's right, that's why I go on about structures. People are sick of me talking about structure.
Yeah.
When your recruitment's right, you hire a manager as a coach to just do your job. Do your job. Get the best out of these players. That's what you're here for.
Create the right environment for him to thrive,
managers
innit?
know. Chelsea managers know. When they get the Chelsea job, they know. They know exactly. They're not here for 5-6 years. They know.
Because they know
I need to get in there. I need to get the best of what I've got and then head out.
Because they get in there and they get what they want. You get me? So it
This
all
is it.
falls on them. You get me? You can never say anything to Abramovich. You get me? Because it's big club energy. Like, man, it's big club energy,
It
innit?
is.
Man, like, obviously, they couldn't make signings. Yo, them man are signed how many players? 8 man.
Yeah.
Trying to line up the 9th.
Yeah, they tried it. Yeah.
How many times have you seen Fabrizio tweet, they've just, here we go on one player.
yeah.
They're looking into the next in the same tweet. You get me? They've moved on to such and such. They've moved on to Declan Rice next. It's like big club energy. Like, they're not trying to finish 4th behind Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Like, nah.
Here's what it is.
That's why people comparing Lampard to Solskjaer. I'm like, listen, one of them is backed, mate.
Yeah, one of
It's
them's back. And the thing
heavy.
is with Lampard as well.
Yo.
Lampard, this is only his 2nd season in, so we're going to find out how good you are. At this moment in time, I don't know, because it's only your 2nd season in, and this is the first time now you have your players with your team. So let's see how you implement your system. What was the 3rd goal that Spurs scored before we move off this terrible subject?
Bay being an idiot.
So yeah, De Gea, we ain't going through all 6 because, it was just
But that's
catastrophic.
coaching issue, though. That's a coaching issue, because that's the drill, innit? Man United have to
exactly.
play from the back.
I don't get
but in that thing with 10 men, it's for him to use his football intelligence, IQ, and go, right, you know what? They're pressing us here. Let me just clear this ball. He usually smashes the ball.
But
He usually
half-hearted.
Yeah, it's
I think he fancies himself too much, because I was saying actually yesterday as well, before he did that Bay is our best ball playing centre back.
Yeah.
I've been saying, people say it's Maguire. It's not. It's actually Bay. I think he just fancies himself too much there.
Yeah, I reckon he was just like, I can make the pass
too
into
confident there.
Matic,
His head had already gone anyway, but it's like, I think he fancied himself way too much there.
So yeah, we'll get off this,
But though after 3, I think the heads went.
Can we not
After
just stay
3,
on this?
after 4, the heads went.
I don't want to move on.
Yo, don't worry, we won't go through. We didn't go through all 6 with us, so we won't go through all 7.
Yo,
with
let
you.
me just say
After
something.
3-1
innit?
games
Go
gone
on,
anyway.
Tox, give us the last point on it.
I just want to say in it, like, United fans, you man need to wake up, because I've not spent no money on Manchester United in maybe the past 3 years now, innit? I refuse. You man bring out a different kit every year, new home kit, new away kit, new 3rd kit, new training kit, new goalkeeper kit. You get me?
Yeah.
I'm missing kits.
Yeah.
There's more stuff that man bring out, and us fans will go every year and buy the new kit for ourselves, buy the new kits for our kids, and it's like you're financing them repeatedly. If you're not willing to, obviously I get we all love the club, but if you're not willing to pull out your money at least and make these guys take notice, then it's just going to continue, you get me? And these men are short-sighted, they don't understand. I've got a son, he's 8 this week, you get me? He's already told me he wants to support City, you get me? Because all he knows in his life is United not doing good, you get me? So you've got me trapped. I'm trapped forever in it, unfortunately, you get me? But that next generation, I can't force him to be a United fan much longer, you get me?
You're losing generations.
You're
all
gonna
over the
lose
place,
the whole
mate.
next generation, because we went what? Primary school, high school, college.
Yeah.
How many City fans did we come up across?
Very few.
Very few. And we
very
go
few.
to school
And we
in
were in
central
Manchester.
Manchester.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
more Liverpool fans in Manchester.
yeah, yeah.
I know more
I know
Arsenal fans, Chelsea fans in
yes.
Manchester
This is what I'm
than
saying.
City fans, you get me? These man don't understand. This whole next generation, yeah, they're all going to be City fans.
Yeah.
They don't understand, innit? So continue as you are if you want to lose that cash cow, innit?
But do you think they care? These bankers don't
You're
care,
going to
bro.
have to care in a
Listen,
generation.
These bankers don't care, and the City fans that you hear about in the last couple of years, they're all born again, like the born again Christians, innit? Born again citizens, you know what I mean? Seriously, like you get the born again Christians, innit? Man, I used to hang around with, and I used to go to. I just like watching football. I don't support anybody. I just like watching international. All of a sudden, a man, I turn around to him. I see them on social media. I'm like, when were you a City fan?
Yeah.
Like, when were you a City fan? I've always been a City fan.
Talk to me the valid point. We grew up, you know what I mean, in
Manchester,
central Manchester, whether it's
Manchester,
east
I know
or
more
south.
Pool fans.
And there was no City fans. Like I said, more Liverpool fans, more Chelsea fans, more Arsenal fans.
Trust.
Even JV here says exactly United being good is a myth to my son, real talk.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm
My
saying?
son's
So there we go.
already had that conversation with me. I want to support City, and I cuss man out. You get me?
Yeah, that's what you
No,
can do.
we support United.
That's all you
but
can
right,
do.
I'm not gonna be able to have that hold over him for much longer, innit? I'm not
Rebel.
gonna be
You
able
know what?
to.
You just
innit?
hold on to him for as long as you can.
I'm
That's all
trying,
it
bro,
is.
but it's
Yeah.
tough.
All you gotta do is
It's
try.
tough.
That's all we
It's
can do.
tough, bro.
You're doing more than these lot trying. That's what you gotta do. You're doing more than
bro.
that board. Go on, Stro. I thought you had a transfer deal and or something
yeah.
like that. Yeah, go on.
So, what's the Everton phenomenal start?
Yeah.
What's the one thing I've been the most critical of,
Goalkeeper.
especially after this weekend?
Yes.
Lo
We'll
and
get onto
behold,
that as well.
Lo and behold, they are closing in on a loan deal for, I think it's Sweden's number one, Roma's goalkeeper.
Oh
Olsen.
my gosh, he's a good keeper.
Yeah, if
Also-
you're saying that, Nuradin, I know he's a good goalkeeper.
And he's coming in as competition. No. He's coming in, he's taking Pickford's place.
But you know what? That's it. See that? Ancelotti there, moving like an elite manager. Shout out Sparks in the building each and every
Big
time.
Sparks.
Like, Ancelotti is
Go on,
moving
man.
like an elite manager. He's seen Pickford, and he's like, all right, he's seen him in training. He's seen him in games make mistakes, but obviously post-lockdown, and then also this season, and he's like,
Yo, on Saturday.
yeah, he's seen him on Saturday. All right, let me get a goalkeeper. He's moved instantly. He's not said, let me wait a year. Pep did the same with Joe Hart. Joe Hart didn't even play. He's seen him in training and was like,
He
you're
was
not
like,
good
nah,
enough for what I want.
You don't need all that
Don't
time
need that
to
time
decide,
to know.
innit?
And the thing is, with him, he signed Bravo, who wasn't good enough. But then he didn't even go back to Hart. He was like, all right, I got to go with Bravo. I'm going to go get Edison. And Edison's making everything.
Big
We don't
club
know where that's
energy,
going to
man.
go. Big club energy, big. So now Ancelotti's
But
seen that
Ancelotti,
with
of
Pickford.
course.
And he could be major for them. He
Bro,
could be
he's
major
back.
signing
That's
for them.
how you back a manager.
Yeah.
That's how you back a manager on the last hours
But
of
the
the
thing
transfer.
is, even with him being backed, and I do rate Ancelotti highly, like I've spoke very well of Ancelotti and everything that he's won, but he is getting the best out of what he has. Yes, he's being backed, but no one can tell me a Keane and a Yerry Mina and a Coleman.
Yeah.
These men are absolute worldies. No, these-
Calvert-Lewin.
Calvert-Lewin's got 9 goals
9
in like 5
goals.
games or something like that. Ridiculous.
it's less
No
than
one,
that.
no one can't tell me that Calvert-Lewin's prolific, but this is what happens when you have a good manager. You put good players in there and you
right
overachieve
system.
the right system.
And the
This guy's
right-
got Rodriguez, who's been playing well, is not even playing like as a 10. He's being obviously
Yeah.
starting wide right in
Comes
the
in the
free,
pockets,
but
yeah.
he'll come inside the pockets. But that goes to show, even playing him out of position, you still can get the best out of him because you have, say, Alan Decore. And that was what crazy about the Everton result.
Yo, he's
Alan
got-
didn't play.
Yo, he's got my
There was
man
no
chasing.
Alan.
Listen, my man, what the Scousers call him, innit? In you know, the Evertonians call him Jimmy Rogers, not known as James Rodriguez. Jimmy Rogers, mate. Jimmy Rogers is running back down, mate.
I was thinking who you talking
Yo,
about.
Jimmy Rogers is tackling fullbacks, mate, sliding in. But that's when you're a manager like of Ancelotti's caliber, yeah. You can get players like him to do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? That just shows you, innit? Because Ancelotti, one of the most things he's well known for, he's a players manager. Like players manager. He is the kind of guy who will do everything for you because he's done it as a player and as a manager. Do you know what I mean? Look at the guy's CV, man. Look at that guy. To me, when Everton got him, I was like, what? Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's not-
What?
it is,
This
but
the
yeah,
guy that came to Chelsea and won the double. Like,
People
double.
forget this, but that's what I'm saying. If Ancelotti tells you to do something with everything he's won and his track record, you're going to go, you know what? you probably know more than me. So all right, then I'm gonna do it. And people say, and Match of the Day had this, and it was a stat about Rodriguez's sprints. I think he had 4 in this game. I think 0 against West Brom, where I think he got man of the match. So it goes to show all this running around and kick and run stuff is not necessarily needed. This is why it's a team game. Yes, all players to me have to work hard, but there's a reason defensive midfielders are a thing. Defensive midfielders are there to do the workload of the attacking players. So the attacking players ain't tracking back.
But bro, you know what? You're gonna sign Jimmy Rogers, as the Evertonians call him, right? You're gonna sign him. You need to sign a Decore. You know Decore?
Yes.
That man has no chill. He can play another 3 games after the game's over. That man's energy levels, that man is a Duracell, trust me. He might as well, literally, you know what, go to that company and go, I'll do the adverts for you. He's a Duracell, bro. My guy, honestly, I was watching the game and I put 40 seconds. I was counting down 40 seconds from one box, one 6 yard to the next 6 yard. So when you are playing, then you play Alan, absolute positioning, right? You has incredible positioning, right? And then you play Decore. Decore is doing all the running.
Yes.
Jimmy Rogers can't do, mate.
Yes.
So, and that's why different
Team game.
Exactly. You have different guys to do different things.
Yes.
And Decore, for me, is one guy. People are like, when I said Man United should get him because he's better than Matic. And plus, he would give us energy off the bench, right? Energy. He is Mr. Energy, bro. Watch him till the rest of the season.
Nah, I've watched him
Come
before,
the last 5 games of the season, Everton players will be shot. He's still going, mate.
I just want to shout out Stefan. He said, how Everton can get Olsen on loan, Ancelotti moving like the real godfather, and shout out Saeed in the building as well, United Central. He said Harry Beckenbauer in capital letters with faces.
Yo, Saeed, I'm coming for you with that.
Yo.
So yeah, on to Everton before we move on. Like 4 wins out of 4 in the league. They've won 2 games in the cup. But Jimmy Rogers is flying. Calvert-Lewin is out here prolific. I think Calvert-Lewin's going to come out and say Ancelotti is the greatest manager of all time because he's going prolific. This guy going for golden boots. You got Decore, you got Allen. They were missing. They got strength in depth because you got Gomez and Sigurdsson who can also go in there. Now they're addressing the goalkeeper. If they sign a centre half,
they've signed him already.
Contenders.
They've signed him already.
Ben Godfrey.
Ben Godfrey from 25 million.
Where did he come from?
He's from Norwich. Norwich, very good player one-on-one.
When did they sign him?
He's a fantastic one-on-one centre half.
You know why I missed this, people? It's not the reason why I missed
signed him today.
Yesterday.
We was depressed.
Yes,
That's why.
I was going to say that.
We was in depression.
I was in depression. That's why. It's not me being. I do prep for the
You're
show.
not football
It's not
nerds,
that.
mate. You're not football nerds like me.
I was too busy depressed. Get me? That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to eat my rice and chicken with a sad face. You get what I'm saying and that.
No word of a lie. I would have signed Godfrey for Man United. Honestly.
JV also
one-on-ones.
says Jimmy
He's
Rogers,
brilliant.
you know, man Britished him off. You get me? I was thinking who you talking about when you first said it.
Yo, those Evertonians ain't going for James Rodriguez. They're like Jimmy Rogers.
Jimmy Rogers. So Everton stay on the roll, and it'd be interesting to see with the Premier League results, how far.
I actually watched their game, you know. I watched that game.
They're a good side, man.
I watched that game, but actually Brighton play. They let Brighton have the ball. That's how clever Ancelotti is, isn't it? They let Brighton have the ball, and they were like, you know, we'll just counter you all day. We'll just counter you. And even when the Brazilian brother, Richarlison, got injured, you know what? He went and bought Iwobi on, and Iwobi started just being wavy, bro. Like Iwobi, like peak Iwobi for Nigeria, because when Iwobi plays for Nigeria,
he will get the best out of him.
Trust me.
And this is what happens when you have a manager that you respect, innit? Like a man with class and pedigree behind him. You get me? You can get the players to do certain things that other managers can't. You get me?
They can't. I think you mentioned this, or I think it was JV on a previous show. The likes of Calvert-Lewin, Iwobi, players like that at Everton, Keane, probably can't believe their luck that they're playing with a Rodriguez and being managed by Ancelotti. They probably can't believe that. Imagine that this guy comes in who has literally won.
Yeah, because it was Vils that said it. He said Calvert-Lewin would have been watching Rodriguez in the 2014 World Cup.
Yes, definitely.
But not even that. But there's a story between
great header by Calvert-Lewin as well. This guy airily, getting up like a salmon.
There is a story between Calvin Lewis and Ancelotti. When Ancelotti was at Napoli, he was looking at his game, right, and saying, you know what, this guy actually, he's got brilliant attributes that is hard to coach.
Right.
And like to develop in a player. He's already got those. I just need to work out a way. And he asked for him. He asked Everton if he could take him on loan or he can take him to Napoli. So when a manager already, can you imagine, manager walks in and says to you, you know what, I wanted you at Napoli because there's things in your game. Calvert looks like, you wanted me. Like, I wanted you on loan at Napoli because I can see great attributes in your game, and I took just a bits of it. And it basically told him, I want your first touch in the box in the 6-yard area to be the goal. I don't want you to take too many touches. I don't want you to hold it. I want you just to, when you're in the box, the touch should be a shot in the goal or a header on goal. That's what it should be, and that just shows you. But I would always come back. I know where you and my brother here are going with this idea of Ancelotti, but Ancelotti coming to Man United, that's a different pressure as well, bro. Even though he's experienced, being at Everton, playing for Everton,
it's a different.
You know what? It's a different level of pressure.
It's a different.
I mean,
pressure.
Stroke can testify to here. They've had players, they've had managers who were decent, and then when you go to certain big clubs, bro. If you can't handle that level of pressure and you're not getting backed, bro.
Here's what it is.
If you're not getting backed, then you're going to crumble.
One thing I would say about Ancelotti, with the caliber of player, we would get better performances and better. We're not getting beat 6-1 and things of that nature.
True.
That's what it is.
I give you that.
Because of United's structure, you know what I mean, I'll take the word from you. Because of United, I know we are not built for long-term success. So I'm looking at it like, all right, if we can't get long-term success, at least let's go short-term.
I just want to be vibes. I want to be vibes.
Just vibes, in it. We just vibes at the minute. We are literally just vibes in it.
But on the wrong vibes, though.
Top four on vibes. Get into the top 4 on vibes. That's literally us.
Look at where we're at though. Like, man said we just want to get top 4 though, and that's where we're at. And when he said it, that made sense to me. I was okay with it. I'm on board with it. Like. Look where we're at now. Because when that was Arsenal, we was bantering them.
But that shows you, but that shows you how much this ownership and under this regime, these bankers have literally dragged down our expectations of this club that we love. Right? How much of it is destroyed? Stroke can testify to that because before Klopp came, Liverpool were just now and again challenging for 4. Next minute they're finishing 6 or 7. Next minute in Europa League, and then we were battling in Europa League. You know what I mean? So it just shows you, and that to me is the worst competition. I just, if the season goes on a mad one, which is looking like it's gonna do, I just want to finish 8th or 9th because I don't want to see Europa League against Stroll, flawless. Got your name, brother? Tox. Save me. If Man United end up again, that would finish me. That would finish me.
That'll be worse this year as well in terms of.
You know what it is? Go on.
Nah, go on.
I was going to say, if we do continue on the manner in which we are in terms of results and performances, Oli will get sacked. And we've seen it before with players and that. We have the squad quality with the right fixture list to go on a run. And because the Premier League is not the greatest, as we see it, I thought Liverpool were going to run away with it. But this weekend, I'm like, I still think Liverpool will win the league. But they're going to win the league. They're going to win. How did they get beat, which we'll get onto? 7. Leicester losing 3-0 at home to West Ham. West Ham last week beat Wolves 4-0. Leicester beat City 5-2 at the Etihad last week.
It's been a madness, bro.
So all you have to do with the quality of the league, all it takes is for you to put a run of games together. Win 10 games in a row. And you'll probably be there or thereabouts. And this United team, even though obviously we was terrible last week, we have the ability to do that. Even if it's another Ollie job and the caretaker manager comes in and just gets a bounce, that new manager bounce.
Actually, you know what? When I got this opportunity, I just want to ask Astro a question, right? So a lot of the things in it, I'm there all alone in it saying, you know what, getting rid of Ollie ain't going to fix this. But I just wanted to ask Stro, obviously, he's looking from the outside. He's not emotionally involved like we are with Man United. I just wanted to ask him, what manager in world football do you actually see do you think that can do a job with Man United?
I think Poch could do a job short term, but the problem is, like you said, is the backing of the board, and that will always come down, and that is a major issue.
What do you think of Nagelsmann?
I think Nagelsmann.
Yeah. And that's my point. Sorry to cut you off in terms of, we know, Tox mentioned it, the owners ain't going nowhere, Woodward ain't going anywhere. So we know 2 out of the 4 if you add in the players and the manager. So it's like, all right, at least let's straighten out the players and the manager. And I just want to be in the race. We've not been in the Premier League title race for 7 years. Let's just get inside the party at first, then we focused on doing the rest of it.
Mark my words, just let Stroh come back in a minute. But mark my words, if Man United go in the Europa League next season, Pogba, Bruno, even Rashford, they're all the agents are questioning these players' attitudes in terms of where they want to get to the top and play to the Champions League. Mark my words. The players that we've got now, that you're going, we've got that, you coined that phrase, innit? We've got the Avengers. The Avengers, their agents are questioning.
Yeah, this is, what it is? You know what it is with the Avengers? We do have the Avengers, but you know the problem we have? Our board's like S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, like those Marvel, yeah. When the Avengers had Shield, yeah. Shield, that man only thrived when Shield left in it. Yo, when Shield just stopped everything. That's what it's like. He's shielding it.
All I know is that.
You know, when the Avengers, any Marvel heads, these man know what I'm talking about. When the Avengers had Shield, yeah, the Avengers struggled. There was bare issues and that. You get what I'm saying?
Trying to make them sign.
Yeah,
things.
sign documents. As soon as Shield left, yo, the Avengers started thriving.
So
That's
Shield.
the problem.
So Shield is basically Ed Woodward and the bankers.
Yeah, the bankers, they're shield. You know what I'm saying? Shielding us from glory. But
enemies from within.
Yeah,
enemies
from within. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. But go on, Stro.
There's one manager in world football I would never want to see at Old Trafford. He's in the Premier League now, and he's someone that you're not going to think that I'm going to go to.
Go on.
Bielsa.
Yeah, no, I said it already, bro.
Used to
on the Straight
always in
Jacket
the group
podcast.
chat. Yeah,
I've
that's one thing
always
I'd
said
say.
it, bro. I've said it. You know what? My fantasy. So just to give you a little insight. One of the only times ever in my life at Old Trafford where I've watched Man United from minute 1 to the 90th minute got outplayed. The only time I've ever seen that in my life for 30 years, you know. I'm man 10, 11 sneaking into Old Trafford. That's just the regular, you know what I mean? Man used to, back in the day, old steward guys used to just look away and we used to just jump over the turnstile and then go to the toilets and then find a seat later. But anyway, I remember Atletico Bilbao in the Europa League. That's actually when we still had Pogba. That's at the end of that season, Pogba left, right? That's the season Pogba left to go to Juventus. But they came to Old Trafford and played us in the Europa League under Fergie. Trust me, bro. Their fans, their team, their manager is something that I have never witnessed. I will never witness it again, ever. I don't think I will ever witness it again. They came, their fans stood up, sang from minute 1 when they entered the stadium till they left the stadium. Their players, you know what? They did the complete press on us. Guess where? And you can look up, you can find the game somewhere online. Andreas Herrera played as the number 10. Number 10 in that team.
I remember that.
In that team, he played number 10. And they pressed it. Bro, the football, they missed chances, right? But the football, they outschooled us. That was the first time ever I've ever watched live, like being in a stadium, a Bielsa team. From that day on then, I was in love. I follow that man. All my brethren know. I follow that man, the maverickness. And then I read into him deeper, read into him even more. And I said, I think it was Straight Jacket, but when Leeds, the season didn't come up, I said it to Aaron and Saeed, and they'll testify to it. I said, if my fantasy, there were two players, a striker, because his skullduggery is next level. And I said, a manager that I would have as a fantasy, as a Man United. If I got the choice to choose one manager and then to choose one striker, the striker was the man at Atletico Madrid who punches people. I mean, Diego. And the manager was Bielsa. Yeah. So Bielsa, for me, he's the fantasy I have, he's the guy. Because, you know what? He will only ever last at Man United for 2 years, 3 years. After 3 years, players don't listen because of the level of intensity. People think about Pep Guardiola's intensity. People talk about Klopp's intensity. He's the godfather of putting it together in terms of the complete one-man press, like man-for-man press, and keeping his team so fit. They have about 4 training sessions, bro. 4 training. The man only sleeps 3 hours at night. In his house, he's got a room where he's got about 10 televisions and he's got their DVDs. Watching, making notes. That is the obsessive nature of him.
Yeah. No. So obviously, I've watched a lot of Leeds for the past 2 years. Mm-hmm. This man, right? You look at Pochettino, you look at Pep Guardiola. They are using scripts from his testament. So he's the old Bible.
Yeah.
The New Testament is Pep Guardiola and Pochettino.
So's Klopp though, bro, as well.
Yeah, but which is just a remake of that.
Yeah.
Right? So they are heavily, heavily influenced by him. And I can't stress this enough. This man in Argentina is a god. Forget Lionel Messi. It's Bielsa. Forget Maradona. It's Bielsa. Bielsa's on walls everywhere. This man is a football genius. So, for those of you that don't know and didn't watch much of Leeds, they played Derby in a league game, right? They basically sent a Leeds United employee to go and watch Derby County's training session. Now, Frank Lampard kicked off. He was the manager at the time, and he said, "Look, it's unsportsmanlike, etc., etc." And Bielsa came under a lot of flack. Now, what Bielsa did was did a press conference the next day, addressed it, and went, "Did we need to send anyone? No. Let me tell you why. Here's my USB." And he pulled out a USB, right?
All these hours.
He had I am not even exaggerating, 60 pages of breakdown of players, where they're good mentally, where they're good positionally, where they can be exploited. The different systems that they have, what Lampard likes to do for substitutions at certain points, depending on where it is at the game, the fitness levels, where they've come from, their injury record, what footed are they, the balance. So, for example, if you were to go that way, what's the balance like? If you can manipulate the ball the other way, can you exploit them that way? This man had everything. So he's like, I didn't need to send anyone. I've got this for every team in the Championship. Imagine him at Manchester United. That's a scary thought.
Yeah. But the point I was making, Stroh's, that that level of intensity, bro, it can only ever last in cycles. So at Atletico Bilbao, it lasted 4 seasons. At Marseille, 2.5 years, I think, when it lasted. Also, just under 2 years. Because he's so obsessive. Like, for anybody, it's very difficult for footballers to concentrate. Yeah. And more than anybody who copied him was Guardiola. Guardiola was the guy that was studying. Guardiola literally would watch Atletico Bilbao games again and again and again and get all of his coaching. But as soon as he took over Barcelona from the youth team, moving to the job, he did that. He studied him. And that's why they were talking about the burnout. The burnout of the obsessiveness, it comes from him. And every modern young footballer, Nagelsmann, the guy at Ajax, at times, the way that Conte plays, this guy's influence on world football and the way he's coached, the way that the press works, he is the godfather of them all. And that's the reason people go, oh, this guy, that man, the club way, the Gurgen, like, no, this is the guy. Even the ideas of Johan Cruyff. Johan Cruyff was the guy that brought the Dutch philosophy to Barcelona. But there's Latin American coaches that have got no names and people don't know that, who bought the fullbacks playing as wingers. That came from Latin America. Right. And that's one of the biggest things that Johan Cruyff did. But Bielsa then took it to next levels and said, man for man press for 90 minutes. You know how hard it is to do that?
That's ridiculous.
So then, just before we move on.
Now, I was going to say, after you make your point, give us your thoughts. We'll segue into it, the Leeds City game.
Yeah. So then, you look at Leeds when they came to Anfield. When have you ever seen Liverpool get pressed like that?
That's true.
When have you ever seen Liverpool get pressed like that for 90 minutes? You've never seen that before in any Premier League team because of how well coached they are. And then obviously it was on BT Sport when he played, I think it was Sheffield United, and Rio Ferdinand basically went to the change it or to the training ground and he watched. They call it murder ball, and it's a 60-minute session. It's non-stop. It is brutal.
So where is that going? Murder ball. Go on. Where is it exactly going, Stroh? Tell me.
So basically it's a specific training drill which is there's no ins and outs. Yeah. It's literally you just play football non-stop in such a confined area and you've got to keep hold of the ball. But it's all about keeping hold of the ball, playing in tight areas.
And pressing.
And pressing, but it's non-stop. And Ferdinand witnessed it and he literally even joked with Calvin Phillips. He said, I've never seen a training session like that. He went, I'm tired just watching it. And he even said, I want to go and stand next to Bielsa and just ask him questions. This man is, honestly, I can't stress this enough. He will... look, and then we move on to the City game, right?
Yeah, go on. Yeah.
So for me, it's Master versus Apprentice. That's what it was.
My tweet was exactly like that.
Yeah,
the professor.
Used to have been singing from the same hymn sheet. Bielsa in the group chat for the longest. Go
the professor against the student.
Yeah. So
great finish by Sterling.
Yeah, that's what it was. But so the thing with this game was, I watched it. It took Leeds about 10-15 minutes to get into the game, right? Because you can tell Pep
knew what was coming.
Knew what was coming, and he changed his tactics slightly to try and get himself an edge, and it worked, right? Here's the problem, which no one's talking about. The second that Leeds got themselves back into this game, they dominated. City had 2 shots on target all game. Leeds had 8. And they had at least 20 shots. So then they played Tyler Roberts, who's a phenomenal young player, right? But then they bring their record signing Rodrigo on, right? You've got Patrick Bamford, who's in phenomenal form, who doesn't get the respect he deserves. His movement is phenomenal. I mean,
the channels.
Yeah.
Who got sold then?
It was Mendy, I believe.
Mendy was getting sold right.
Yeah, so it was Mendy. So then you look at this game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Mendy makes the mistake. And
No,
then
it was.
No, who's that?
Laporte.
Laporte.
Yeah, Laporte.
I rate Laporte as well.
So you look right. I'll go through Leeds' team. So you've got Meslier in that, who's a good young goalkeeper who's actually really stood up for himself this season. You've got Ayling, who come from Arsenal's youth academy. He's a phenomenal talent, right? But he was never the player that really hit the heights until Bielsa came in. Right? They've then gone and got Robin Koch, who is a German international, who is a great signing for them. They've also signed Diego Llorente from Real Sociedad, another phenomenal signing. Liam Cooper came from Hull. He's a Leeds fan, right? He's the captain. He's the leader on that pitch. He was never playing at these kind of heights until Bielsa came in because he knew what kind of strengths he had, what kind of weaknesses he had, and he's managed that defence around him. You then got Stuart Dallas, who's like the utility man. He's their James Milner. He can play anywhere, yeah? Calvin Phillips in the midfield.
Showed in his homework, keep going.
Calvin Phillips is the key to that midfield because he's the holding midfielder.
Yeah.
Whenever the fullbacks go forward, he will sit in as a free.
And he's got energy.
Right. Yeah, he's got energy, but
the car rate energy.
I was going to say Duracell.
His passing range is outstanding. Here's a question for everyone here. When have you ever seen a championship midfielder get called up and played in the England team before they've even kicked a Premier League ball?
That's true.
Until Calvin Phillips. This is the potential this man has. Right?
We were linked with him 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. You've then got Click just in front of him, and then either Hernandez, if he's injured, or what they're doing now is they're playing Tyler Roberts, but then what they did in this game was they brought Rodrigo on because he can bring that little something extra. You've then got Costa on one side and Poveda, who is a Barcelona youth. You've then got Jack Harrison on the left, who's on loan from Manchester City, but he couldn't play in this game, so they played Alioski, who's he's a fan favourite, right? He's one of them. For example, he gets stuck in, he's got a bit of bite to him, he'll literally run to death for the cause, yeah? And then you've got Patrick Bamford, whose movement is phenomenal. He will miss chances, but everything is structured around Patrick Bamford and what you can get in and off him. So what Bielsa did in this game was he basically brought Rodrigo on, right, to kind of play in the areas, in the pockets, because there was no space at first. And then you bring Rodrigo on, then Bamford had space, then Costa had space, then they brought Poveda on, and then they moved Costa to the other side, then Poveda had space, and then Mendy was getting exposed, Kyle Walker was getting exposed, Laporte and Fingy were getting exposed, and literally you're looking at the highlights, it is all
And did you see how he dropped as well? He dropped the defence so that there was a stretch in the game. One of the tactics, because one of the things about Bielsa, that he'll change the tactics in game, he will change the tactics constantly, change it.
Like instantly.
Instantly. And what they did was, actually, when Rio came on, he was on the left. He legged on the left, and then when the game, soon we got into the game, he was dropping into the hole, and that's why he was a threat, because obviously on that side, Walker. What does Walker do? Walker tucks in more inside, doesn't he? And it bamboozled Guardiola. Trust me, bamboozled. And in my tweets are there. That guy Red Devil, and I said, I think Leeds are going to win this. When people are like, you know what, but City could have had a handball. To be fair to them.
City did get one blocked off the line. Kevin De Bruyne did hit the post as well. So
I just want everyone to know, Bloodstroll just did that all off the top of his head. You get me? He got no notes here. He ain't reading from his phone, nothing. You get me? That's crazy.
There's a reason why he's here, people. That's what we're saying.
Trust.
From a third eye view, we don't mess around out here. That's what it is. All off the top of the dome, and he's not even a Leeds fan. There's Leeds fans who can't even tell you that stuff. I'm telling you did that.
And you know what? I don't watch them too tough because I nearly got murdered in Leeds, mate, on a away game. You know what? I don't watch them too tough, but I'm scared. I'm scared to play them.
Can you just pull back that clip, Edison? What's he doing?
I know.
I know you've been on Edison's case.
Because
Edison fan.
Towards the end of last season. Really? Towards the end of last season, he was dropped. He's slacking.
Yeah, because this is my problem, right? Is obviously I understand it. They're both Brazilian. When Alisson came in, every 3 or 4 Manchester City fans, because that's about how many they've got.
Don't call it an empty ad for nothing.
Serious? There's more people at the Asda over the road. I'm not even lying, people. There is more. The Asda is always packed. No matter what time you go, whether it's 3 in the morning or 3 in the afternoon, the Asda's packed.
But basically, because they've got a Brazilian striker, they love to compare Jesus and Firmino. They've then got Alisson and Edison, right? Don't get me wrong. Edison, with the ball at his feet, is a much better passer with the ball than Alisson.
Yeah.
I don't want my goalkeeper to kick the ball like he's a centre midfielder. I want my goalkeeper to save goals.
I want him to be a goalkeeper, first and foremost.
So you look at this, right? And this is my whole point with Manchester City, and I've said this from time after time. Their ego is out of control, which is the reason why when push came to shove last season and times got hard and you had to dig in, you had a bit of grit and you needed to fight back. There was no fight there.
Comes from the manager, man. That's what he's like. Yo, we see Pep Guardiola absolutely lose his mind when things aren't going his way. You get me? Remember his first season in England. he was tripping that whole season. He was tripping that whole season. Like the ego on him, it's like when times get tough for him, like he loses his head. He fully loses his head.
We've seen it,
and that must bleed into the players as well.
Yeah, like he's not got the
Just
fight.
to update the viewers. According to Fabrizio Romano, Ousmane Dembele is not joining Manchester United. Barca always ask for a permanent deal. No loan, no agreement. So the wheelchair, the man with the wheelchair, what they call him, the ambulance. Instead of Dembele, that man's not joining.
It's
so
just
that's
funny
good.
that United have spent however many hours in
6 months
manpower
chasing.
trying to chase this guy for it to end up here.
Yes.
Same with Sancho when it's
Typical us. So, all right,
And apparently now we'll try to get last minute thing for Sarr.
Is it all right, we'll soon find out. So what we will move into is another shock result from the weekend. I don't know what's more shocking.
Talk about the roast.
Yeah.
That lovely roast. Early, you know what I mean? Evening roast, mate.
It was an evening roast, wasn't it? It was. Aston Villa 7, Liverpool 2. I can't believe this result.
I'm just going to shut up now. Just look at Stroke.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I can't even celebrate. Like, I would love to have been able to celebrate, but I was in such a bad mood that it didn't, like...
It didn't hit like it should have.
It didn't hit like... I should be dining off this.
It was nice, though.
You said it's a roast. This should have been like a Christmas roast. You know when, like, you get leftovers. Like, you just eating leftovers after Christmas until New Year. That's what it should have been. But I couldn't even enjoy it like that. So, go on, Stroke, because one thing I respect about you is you're a very unbiased Liverpool fan, and you tweeted it out and you said something, I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of, no Liverpool fans make excuses, this is nothing to do with pre-season, etc. We've just been terrible this game. So give us your thoughts on the game.
Peace, boys, I'm out. I'll see you later. Nah, you know what? Yeah, basically, because there was a certain narrative which was going about when City first dropped points to Leicester and you dropped points to Crystal Palace, which is, it's understandable. It was a lack of pre-season is clearly hindering certain teams, right? And then I seen Liverpool fans jump on City fans, and I seen them jump on United fans. And then last night, suddenly, from the Liverpool perspective, is we've not had a proper pre-season. So it's like no, we're not doing that. You're not banning them, and you're not literally going at them for the excuse, and then you're trying to use it because we got beat. And let's be honest, we got beat by a better team. Man for man, we were not good enough. Roberto Firmino, once again, missing chances at 2-1. Clear-cut chances to put us back in the game. And once we get put back in the game, we go on and win that game. Yeah. Let me just talk you through it, right? So Adrian makes a mistake. It's a howler.
Yeah, it was
the ball gets knocked back to him, but if you rewind it, Flawless, I'll show you something which no one wants to talk about because Gomez is the wonder boy. So when the ball's played, it goes past Gomez, right? And it lands to Jack Grealish. Now he's got Watkins just behind him, right? Stop it there.
My bad.
So stop it just as Grealish is about to make the pass, yeah?
I feel like this is M&F and that, you know what I'm saying? Man needs the screen and that. Solomon, what's going on, big S?
You need the pen, innit?
Yeah, I need the pen with the screen, man. Man, I'll get a suit and everything. Let's go.
But those, you can watch it back. So pause it at...
There.
This bit, right?
Wait, a little bit further.
Yeah,
right?
there.
Yeah.
Right? Joe Gomez.
Yes.
As a defender, fundamentally, if you show him, you can only go down the line.
Yeah.
Grealish isn't going to shoot from that position because he's not going to score. It's too tight of an angle. So you literally have to smell the danger, which is Watkins behind you. You stop. You do everything to stop that easy ball into him. Watch what Gomez does. He literally, play it, he literally moves into position just to make the pass simple. That's where the goal comes from. No one's talking about that because Gomez wants to make it. So the Adrian mistake is bad.
It's both. You're saying it's it's both.
No,
both
but you can rectify that mistake. Look at Maguire's one. You can still there's points where you can rectify it, and it doesn't have to get to the point that it gets to. But no one wants to talk about that because Gomez is a phenomenal young talent. But people refuse to criticise Liverpool players.
Even is that Gomez letting him cut in?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. It's exactly the same thing though. It's the same fundamental thing, and he did it with Raheem Sterling away at the Etihad, where he let him cut inside and he gets a penalty from it. Yeah. So it's like something's going wrong where he's making the same mistake time after time.
It's
far too easy.
But to be fair to him, he's still young, innit? So certain defenders, when they get certain age, they then know those things because they keep making that mistake. But people then point it out to them.
By Salah,
do you know what I mean? People point it out to them.
So then obviously we go down to once again he lets him cut inside, right? We then pull it back to 2-1. They then get a corner. It's then cleared out, and we don't really get out early enough, and it's just shambolic. And basically, they hit a volley, and it hits off Van Dijk. Nothing you can do. Deflects past Adrian, right?
Yeah, no,
they scored 3 deflected goals, which is fair enough.
That's a bit unlucky, to be honest.
It's unlucky. But when you watch the actual game, Barkley should have had 4.
Yeah. First half, he could have had a hat-trick.
Yeah. Grealish should have had 2 more, right? Watkins should have had 5.
Yeah.
That's not good enough. I want to know what Liverpool fan thinks as champions, not even as champions, at what point is this acceptable? No point, especially as champions. We have fought for 30 years to get back into this position. Start acting and conducting yourself as champions. This is unacceptable. When is Roberto Firmino going to start coming under criticism? It's shocking misses time after again. He missed the exact same thing. And this is the problem I have, right? And here's a stat for you. Last season, Liverpool, playing a high line, caught 94 teams offside. Which was about 44 more times than any other team, right? So it's clearly what they're doing. So they're trying to press you up man for man high to try and nick the ball back in dangerous areas, because in tight areas we've then got the likes of, we've got, what can I say? Yeah, we've got Salah, Mane, Firmino, who can operate in tight areas, who can exploit. You've then got Trent and Robertson, who are in them positions as well, right? So
and then you've got the 3 energetic midfielders.
Exactly. So then we can bring teams back. I get that. But against Aston Villa, who aren't going to play the ball from the back, why are we doing a high line? We don't need to do it. And this is the problem I have with it, is when you can clearly see that we're losing 4-1, someone needs to take ownership in that team and go, no, you go 5-10 yards back.
Exactly.
We are not losing this. We're not making this embarrassing. We're champions, for crying out loud.
Can you explain the free kick? Because the free kick, for me, that was the most disappointing goal that Liverpool conceded. Because that is a tactic you could see. My guy's gone out wide, and there's nobody near him.
Yeah. So this is the problem I have, right? And if you flawless, so you've seen the free kick there, yeah.
Which free kick?
So roll it back is one of the goals.
It's the 4th one.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, there's just bare goals, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just enough goals. That's what it is. It's like
low-key
9 goals.
dig, mate. Low-key dig.
There's loads of goals. Who's free kick? Your Villas?
Aston Villa. Aston Villa in the first half, they hit after this.
It's after this.
It's after the corner, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk you through something, and then I'm going to get you to pull another clip up, and it will show the exact same problem. And this is the issue I have with us playing this ridiculous line when it comes to free kicks.
Yeah, I don't know.
To me, the free kick is the one that I thought, that's a glaring.
That's a terrible error.
Right, so here's the free kick, right? Yeah. Look, so it doesn't matter how far away from. So the set piece could be 20 yards out.
And they come like that.
It could be 30 yards out. We decide to hold the line on the 18-yard box. Yeah. Here's the problem. You've got people in this league like Kevin De Bruyne, Bruno Fernandes, Paul Pogba, James Rodriguez, who can put balls into that area, and if you time your run right, you're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper.
You're giving the runners an easy job.
You're literally making their life simple. So you look at that, right, and then you see the goal come from it. Do me a favour, Flawless. Type in Liverpool Man City Community Shield.
All right, 1 second. Keeper's talking.
Right, so then here's the problem. So this is what we do. We hold the line.
It's not typing, bro.
But the problem is you look at that goal for an example. They've not just whipped it in the box. They've been clever with it. They've knocked it to the side.
Of course, they know though, because the width.
They've knocked it to the side because they know that Liverpool are going to move up. And then once you've moved up, you can't then run back.
No chance.
Because body-wise, your balance has gone, so it's more difficult.
2019.
Yeah. So then, literally, Manchester City did this in the Community Shield against us and scored from it. What they did, they looked at how we would position. They knew that we would then press up. So instead of just knocking the ball into the box and letting us catch them offside, they knocked the ball to the side 5 yards. We've then moved up. Everyone still timed their run. And then what did they do? They knocked the ball into an area, and for the Community Shield, correct me if I'm wrong, but they knock it into the left-hand side, so the right-hand side of the keeper's goal. So, like, if I'm the keeper, it's Nuradin. It's in that area. Yeah. And then they knock the ball back, and lo and behold, they get a goal from it.
Yeah.
But this is the problem I have with it. These are tactics. I understand it's high. It's like big reward, high risk, but it's like, we should not be putting ourselves in this position where we should be conceding these types of goals.
Can I ask you this question, right? Do you think, obviously with Alisson is like a on his toes kind of thing, because, and I understand, like in football, right? Some of the keepers would definitely say, you know what? Some of the keepers will set the line and go, you know what? This is my area. Anything that comes into here, I will get on it. I think Liverpool, from everything that I've seen, I try to play like Bayern Munich, right? Bayern Munich, the European champion. Bayern Munich have been going for the hell and leather in terms of, as soon as they changed the manager, the caretaker took over. He implementing that. But the thing that what they've got...
Sorry to cut you off. Look, this is it.
Yeah. The ball comes back, boom, see you later. Yeah. It's a tap-in, isn't it? It's a tap-in. But the thing about it is that they've got the best goalkeeper for me in the world in terms of Manuel Neuer, who's on his toes.
Yeah.
Alisson, do you think that the players should have realised it's Adrian and not Alisson? Because I've seen Alisson playing a sweeper keeper.
That should come from the manager, though.
Yeah, but the problem is this is the issue I have with it, right? Is, so you look at that.
Yeah.
Aston Villa have literally just
done exactly the same.
Emulated the exact same thing, and it works.
But it's easier though. Everybody knows you can.
Exactly.
When you've got a team that's pushing a high line, you've got to get the ball out wide into a space.
Look at the state of that line.
Yeah.
It's not even on the 18-yard box. It's on. It's literally in the deep. How does that make any sense? And this is why it frustrates the hell out of me, right? And listen, Liverpool fans, come at me. I am ready for this argument. It is an absolute shambles of a tactic, and let me tell you why. We have the most dominant defender in world football in the air in Virgil van Dijk. Let him do his job.
Just let defenders
Let him do his job. Gomez is good in the air. Matip is 6'3". Let him do his job.
Exactly.
Why are you doing that tactic?
And you got
We have
Fabinho as
conceded
well.
big goals, and it's costing us. That costs us Community Shield. It's a trophy. I don't care. I want to see Liverpool win trophies. For 30 years, for my lifetime, I've seen us win the Champions League twice. I've seen us win the odd League Cup, the odd FA Cup, and then the Premier League. I've not seen the dominance that United had.
You want more?
I want that dominance.
You're sniffing those 13 Premier Leagues.
It's going to hinder us. Like, I just don't get it.
Well, listen, can I just go back to it? You know when Roy Keane, obviously, you know what, that guy Red Devil, I tweeted it out. I was like, he was going from bad to worse, of United getting beat and Liverpool winning. I was like, yo, even Klopp, their manager, is finishing on one of our legends, right? And actually, what Roy Keane and then Klopp went in to explain with Carragher, because Klopp was there when you played against, who was it at home? You played against Chelsea, the Chelsea game. He basically explained that the reason why the press and the reason of taking the risk. He said the risk is worth it because this is Klopp's words. Klopp's words were, the high press with a 3 on top and then the 3 midfielders following and then the back 4 being halfway line is like a number 10. He literally used the words and said, it's like a number 10. When you press that good, it is a number 10. You will create more chances because you are closer to goal.
Yeah.
And hence, if you win the ball back in the area or so we're talking about the 25-yard or 20 yards from their goal, you can then score.
Yeah.
That's why he believes in that press so much. But for me, I agree here 100% with Stroh because there is a certain things when you've got people who've got attributes. Bobby Firmino is good in the air. Yeah. You've got players who are good in the air. Gomez is decent in the air. You've got all these players. Listen, there is a communication, and there's some things that. This is what happens under Fergie, right? Most people think that Fergie was a great tactician. Fergie was the master of giving the most simplest details. He will say, you know that player. Rio Ferdinand talks about it. Rio Ferdinand will go, you know what? That Bellamy. Don't let him do that to you again. Yeah. He'll show Rio Ferdinand what Bellamy did to win a game. Don't let him do that to you again. And then he'll be putting the things in the players' heads. If he does that to you again, honestly, you can't come into the dressing room afterwards, right? You can't. And what he would do is that he would make players make the decisions. Make the decision. I'm a believer that I think obviously it is like Bielsa, all of the great managers, they're all on a spectrum, innit? You have to be obsessive. You're not normal, are you? Right? So Klopp's not normal, and Klopp is the kind of guy in his backroom staff are the type of people who leave nothing, not a small amount of detail to chance. But what that does, it takes it away from the players to go and make decisions because they're in game, they're inside the game, and they'll know what was going on. So it makes it harder for them. So Van Dijk would have just gone, you know what, guys, we're not going to do this. We're losing. What was that? 3-1. Was that the fourth goal? Was that the fourth goal? Yeah, we're losing 3-1. We can get back in this game. Let's just drop 10 yards here, and then you know what? I'll take it up with the manager inside after the game. I'll take it up with him, and that's what happened. Players will fight Fergie. People forget that. People forget that Fergie. It was a team thing. Some of the senior players will make tactical changes within the game. Roy Keane will say to somebody, you know what, we're going to sit, we're not going to attack now. We're going to consolidate for a bit. Let them have the ball because this team is sitting 2 back and we're not creating any chances. So give them the ball.
I think what you're not taking into consideration is like this generation of players now, they're less proactive when it comes to things like that, innit? And just people in general, and when you might look at your family members, your younger cousins and whatnot, they're just not built like you they don't think how you used to think. They don't think on their feet. They're just less proactive when it comes to thought processes.
They're not go-getters in terms of, I'm just going to do that, go and do that type of thing. I get what you're saying.
Like, I don't expect no players of this generation to make those types of decisions or even want to... Sorry, go on.
Here's the other problem I have, right? So you look back at the Arsenal game from Monday night, right? I get it, because they play out from the back. So it makes sense when they've got the likes of David Luiz, and let's be honest, when you put him under pressure, he can crumble. They've then got a new centre-back. Tierney's still trying to experience the Premier League, and he's still trying to get used to it. It makes perfect sense for us to play that kind of tactic, right? We still got caught out. Let's not forget, Lacazette got put through at 2-1.
True, that if he scores, different game.
1-on-1, it's different game. It's 15 minutes left, right? But what did that come down to? Individual brilliance from the goalkeeper. Last night we didn't have Alisson.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I told people. I told Liverpool fans, Adrian and Alisson,
Nuradin,
totally different.
We'll move on.
You know what? Literally, there's a different levels of intimidation. The reason why people like Schmeichel, the Chelsea keeper that was there, still part of their team now. What's his name? The Czech guy. Check. It's certain keepers will have certain reputations, and as a striker or as a player, when you go in there, you play the man, you don't play the situation, because these goalkeepers are so good, they get into your head. And Alisson makes a brilliant save. I said about 3 of the goals that Liverpool conceded in that in that part of the game, the 3 first goals. I think with Alisson there, Liverpool don't concede those. He makes saves. While Andrian makes mistakes. That don't mean that Alisson don't make mistakes. Every keeper can make a mistake, and what automatically leads to goals when usually keepers make mistakes. But Liverpool, and also like Patrice Evra said, I agree with him. No Mane, no party, mate. No Mane, no party. Mane to me, you know the thing about it, Bobby Firmino, the chances that you had in some of the positions where Jota was having some saves, Mane especially against those teams. That's the reason why he won the league. When you beat them last season, who was it? Mane just takes it. Mane is just a mentally, physically tough person who just takes it away. He just knows. He's got that energy about him. He just takes it away.
And then this is my biggest issue I have with last night.
Go on, last point on it. We'll move on to the next
all I've heard for 2 seasons is mentality monsters. And you know what? For the past 2 seasons, we've shown it.
Lived up to it.
Where was the mentality last night? Nowhere to be seen. When push comes to shove and you actually need to start conducting yourselves as champions, it just went all out the window.
Do you not think you're being slightly harsh?
It's been slightly harsh. Every person, every fan is slightly harsher on their team.
It's a very bad game.
But the reason why you're thinking like that, Stro, is this because you've seen this coming in terms of errors you've made in the past? You just haven't been punished like the highlight you spoke about?
No. It's the errors that I don't quite have an issue with, right? Okay. It's because, like you said, we'll win some games doing it, we'll drop some goals doing it, but I still expect Liverpool to come out on top because of how good of a team we are. My issue is, the reason why I'm so wound up and I was so frustrated watching that game yesterday was when it gets to 3-1, we can still go on and win that game. It just seems like it was just a...
You know what, Stro? Trust me, I was thinking the same. Trust me, I was on with Flawless and with Saeed and I'm keeping an eye and I'm thinking, you know what, Liverpool can come back because Man United have done it, bro. Champions, you do it. But what you need to do is cut that errors. But for me, I rather think now that you get it over and don't win now, because I'm going to give a compliment. Man United will still go and win doubles. We used to get whacked by Chelsea. I gave you the example of you know, I gave you the example of getting whacked by Newcastle, by Chelsea. All of these things happen. But you're telling me now, I'd rather take those things, lessons, in the beginning of the season or towards the end of the season. And for me, there's certain times, even during now, that's thing about Klopp, and they got 10 days or whatever, 12 days before they see the players here, other than the players who are not playing international football. Him and the coaching staff are going to go to the drawing board. That is a time for them to go to the drawing board and look at these specific things and think, you know what, if this was to happen again, how would we do? But one thing I did see last night, watching that game, and this morning when I watched the highlights, when it got to 3-1, I did see the heads drop. And that's natural. Problem. That's natural in terms of footballers.
That's my issue.
But that's unlike you.
For me, it's like you've released pressure as well. You don't have to worry about going the whole season undefeated I think this will be beneficial to you.
I think in the long term.
I hope it is beneficial, but it's like, listen, when you look at the context of it, we could have gone 8 points clear of Manchester City yesterday. Already. That's a phenomenal gap.
Psychologically, that's a big
Psychologically,
that's a big
huge.
thing.
Yeah.
in a sense, we've give them a boost looking at that because they think, well, if Aston Villa can do it when we played them, we can do it against them. I'm talking about City. But this is the problem I have with it, is when I seen the heads drop, that's a worrying sign for me because I've not seen Liverpool's team, or I've not seen, for example, when Alden plays a 5-yard pass to no one and his head's gone. And it's like, you were literally touted to go Barcelona. You are a top elite player. What are you doing? Like, I've not seen that from us for years, and that was worrying for me. And it's like, here's my problem now. We've now got Everton next, right?
But I think you're going to whack them. Yeah. And you know what? And I always think now, Everton did not want you to get smashed yesterday. I'm telling you, deep down in Everton has, those who know about football, know the wrath of Liverpool is coming. Trust me. Trust me, Stroke. If Liverpool are going to smash Everton, trust me, I've said it here.
But if we go a goal down, that's enormous pressure.
It's a pressure. You know what? Because it's a Merseyside derby.
If you miss chances, I think it's a pressure.
Because it's a Merseyside derby, it's a massive game regardless. It don't matter if Liverpool were top of the Premier League and Everton were bottom of League 2.
Have you seen the record though, bro?
Yeah, the record's terrible. Let me get to it. So it's a massive game, number one. 2, it's an even bigger game because of the way that Everton have started. So it's an even bigger game on that.
Yeah.
3, the Everton are legit a threat now. So even if you have Liverpool as favourites, an Everton win wouldn't shock you. And then 4, coming off the back of that type of result, if they do go a goal down, how do they react to that? Because they know that they are in front of a team that are much stronger and equipped to protect a lead than, say, a Villa.
You know what? I'll add one more. Ancelotti was the only guy in the Champions League in the past couple of years that's troubled Liverpool.
Exactly my point.
They have the manager and they have the players with the quality to cause Liverpool problems. I'm not saying Liverpool won't win.
But I genuinely don't think Ancelotti's got that the Napoli defence that trouble Liverpool. I genuinely don't think that. I think where you get nervous, Stro, this is what will happen if you miss chances. If you miss when the chances drop to your guys, if you miss the chances, that's when it becomes psychological. That's when it becomes heavy. But I think if you Liverpool score first, good night Vienna, mate. I've watched Everton Brighton.
Where is it?
It's a Goodison.
But this is no crowd there anyway, bro.
There's no crowd there, but it's still a factor.
But this is another point. This is the kind of pressure Liverpool haven't experienced in the past 3 years.
Good.
Being in this kind of environment, you know what I mean, where you're conceding goals in. Listen, I said the stat to you. We conceded 33 goals all of last season. We conceded 11. We conceded a third of our overall goals that we conceded last season. Something's not adding up. That doesn't make sense.
That's just the Premier League recently. Like, I seen Specsavers at the official Twitter account of Specsavers tweeted out and said that the Premier League defenders need eyes tests. That's the Specsavers because the Premier League is literally just all attack. Just vibes.
You know what I call it?
No defending is legit. Just vibes.
Rona vibes, mate. Rona vibes, mate.
But all right, moving on to this next game anyway, because West Ham, since David Moyes has got corona, has been quarantined.
Did you see my tweet?
They beat. What did you say? Go on.
I said the West Ham fans are begging for David Moyes to stay in isolation till the rest of the season. Hold tight, David Moyes.
Not only did they beat Wolves 4-0, and now they've beat Leicester 3-0.
But did you see the football they were playing?
Leicester, this is what I'm like.
Bear in mind, Leicester just rolled up City as well.
Like, this is.
But emotionally, what happens.
Alan Irvine, give him the job, mate.
Yo.
Give him the job.
Trust me, they play better football than under David Moyes. Trust me. It's like, you know what? Sometimes it can happen in sport or in football, or at a level at least support. When you've been listening to one man's voice for a long, long time and he's just draining, you're not listening anymore because you know what he's going to say. But then when a new voice comes, and obviously he's only like the number 2, when his voice comes, we already seen that at Bayern Munich. My guy gets sacked. Next minute, they're playing 100-man press, you know what I mean, full press football. And next minute, they're winning trebles. You know what I mean?
Trebles and quadruples.
Ellen, you know what? Irvine, trust me. And they're playing the level of the goals that they scored, bro.
Bits of Irvine.
But hold tight David Moyes, man. And stay in that kitchen, man. Stay in that kitchen.
Yeah, like I'm saying, like if you're David Moyes looking at you, like, why can't I get these performances? 4-0 against Wolves.
And Antonio is impressive. I'm just happy for him, bro.
3-0 away to Leicester. Like, they're 2 games, if they got 0 points from, no one will be like West Ham underachieving. Like, you wouldn't expect. These are what we call coupon busters.
And you know the cloud.
Coupon buster.
Did you see the cloud? How much they were so clouded by troubles at the beginning of the season. Everybody was worried for West Ham. That don't mean that they might not go down because David Moyes has got that in it. 1 minute, teams are fighting.
He's going to come back. If he comes back here and they start doing bad, you have to take a serious look at David Moyes. If he comes out of isolation and they start doing terrible, You have to look at it.
That
Like,
just tells you that the players don't respect him.
They're not listening, mate. They're not listening.
go on, talk. Speak on it.
Because if you're playing for David Moyes, like it's just you probably already have like your conceived notions about him before you even met him, and now you're playing for him. You get me? It's like that's weird for him to be ill and you're playing better under whoever's in charge now. It's like
Alan Irvine,
there's something there, bro.
That's what I'm saying. It
There's
tells you you need
something
to
there,
go.
man.
Speaking of West Ham, so a bit of transfer news. Felipe Anderson looks like he's on his way out.
Okay.
Benfica. So we going to what team?
I think it's, let me find it, I believe it was Marseille, from what I
Marseille.
was reading.
Okay.
So yeah, Felipe Anderson looks like he's on his way out. Jack Wilshere's terminated his contract by mutual consent.
Oh, did he still have a contract?
Yeah.
Did he still have a Jack Wilshere, you know. I wonder if someone will pick him up.
And from what I was
injury prone,
reading,
bro.
He's injury prone, but someone will pick him up.
oh yeah, no,
Still
someone
got
will
technique,
definitely
still
pick him
got
up.
technique, yeah. Fulham, I think.
Fulham.
Should go to Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham.
Ooh, Fulham's a shout.
You just say that then.
Yeah.
Is that what, I don't say. I didn't see it. I swear to God, I didn't see it.
Fulham is
I just
Fulham.
taught a team in my head. I thought, you know what? With his
Oh no,
experience,
they've not said it. I just thought it in my head as well because it makes perfect sense for Fulham.
Yeah, Fulham. Yeah. Well, what about Sessignon going to IP Leipzig? Is it IP Leipzig he's gone to?
Hoffenheim.
Hoffenheim. Why couldn't he just go back to Fulham and just help them out? They're gonna need somebody to go play out
You
wide.
know why he's seen that was a sinking ship and thought, forget that.
Nah,
That's
but
what it is.
you know what's going to
Sinking
happen in
ship.
Hoffenheim.
That's what he thought. Sinking. Hey, salute, like I said, salute to everybody in the comments as well. Also, if you are watching this live or you're watching this back, please make sure you hit the like button on the video, share,
Definitely.
and subscribe
Oh
to
no,
the Pirate
sorry,
Radio
it's
YouTube.
Porto for Felipe
Porto.
Anderson.
That's what I'm saying. But yeah, man, salute. Rick
Splashing
S
that
says,
tell us money, yeah? Porto, we
Rick,
see you.
Rick S says, first time checking in, top podcast, keep it big up. Yeah, man, we over here, Pirate Radio,
salute, man.
every Monday, 7 p.m. But yeah, we'll just run through the rest of the results real quick and we can give our thoughts on them. So Chelsea, 4-0 against Crystal Palace. It wasn't a 4-0 game, though.
Nah, no
It wasn't a
chance.
4-0 game. Saka made a terrible, like, you could just put defender's name here. But Sacco made a terrible error. And then once they scored the first goal, the floodgates opened. But it was good to see Callum Hudson-Odoi playing, and I don't understand why Lampard doesn't rate him. I don't get it.
Bayern Munich still sniffing, you know?
Yeah, I don't
Bayern
get
Munich's
it. Why?
still
Obviously, yeah, you got Ziyech and Pulisic. They're going to be your two first-choice wide players, understand. But if one of them's out, or in this instance, both of them are out, you got Callum Hudson-Odoi. He changed the game against West Brom when he came on. He changed the game.
Yeah, he did.
Because even the goal that they scored, the first one, even though it took a deflection,
He did.
it was him being in the position of a wide player
Yeah.
and trying to take on a man is what caused all of that to happen. Havertz don't do that. Havertz is not a wide player.
Yeah.
Werner playing wide left, who I rate. Both of them playing.
But that was the first
not a wide
game.
left.
That was the first game they played Havertz in the right position. And he actually looked decent.
Yeah,
It was going to
because-
take him time because they played him. He's not the type of player that you could just get him to go in the pockets from a wide position. He's not that guy. To me, I always get really frustrated where managers and clubs buy players and then play them in the wrong. Like, what's the hell? What's the point of you buying
that tells you
player?
that it's not the manager though buying the player. For me, like who's buying the players? If you get this player and you're playing him out of position straight away,
I think
that's coming in from
I
somewhere
think it's
else.
either that or I think it's a lot of the time, and I think with Lampard what's happened is he's trying to shoehorn players in. Ziyech and Pulisic are out. Mount and Havertz shouldn't play in the same team. They're both tens.
the
Therefore,
make
you
the tough
you
decision.
make the tough decision. But obviously, you sign Havertz for X amount, so he has to start. And you love
90
Mount.
million, I think.
Yeah, whatever it was,
with all the
89
add-ons,
million. And then
yeah.
Mount. So you have to play one or the other. I don't understand if you're playing or play a system where if you want to play two number 10s, play a system with two number 10s. Change it. Chelsea are equipped. We spoke on this to play a back three.
Of course.
They are perfectly equipped if you want to go that route.
Of course.
Perfectly equipped, but it is what
Of course, but it wasn't. But the inaptitude of attacking from and the football they would try to play, it was the type of game that you see when they got a level of quality. It was similar actually the way they played against Man United. So they hustled. It was a tight game to begin with, but towards the end they got tired, Crystal Palace, and just Chelsea just took it away from them. You know what I mean? But to me, it's like it's the way he sets them up. Roy Hodgson. You have to be able to change it within in-game. You have to be able to change the tactics within in-game. And he can't adapt because the players can't adapt because they're not at a level of quality to be able to adapt.
It's going Stro.
So basically, Thomas Partey, he's had his medical in Spain, so that's already done. His agent fees agreed, it's already done. It's just the paperwork now. So from what Fabrizio Romano just said, that he expects Arsenal to win the deadline, but it's going to be close.
Let's broken fax machine.
Oh,
Let's
God,
broken
please.
fax machine, please.
Yeah.
Please.
Broken fax machine. All right,
Please.
Newcastle.
Internet.
Newcastle free. Burnley
Why did they
won.
wait so long as well? Like,
Because-
I'm confused.
Yeah, I
I
watched
had
that
no
game.
idea.
I watched that game.
St. Maximin, Gucci headman.
Yeah.
scored a great goal. That's people call him. Gugge scored a very, very good goal.
If you watch that game like I did, the way they fouled him, the way they were whacking him, they were taking in turns to whack him till he actually got subbed.
It's Burnley.
And you know what? In my head, I'm thinking. You know what? Burnley have done us a favour. Do you know why? Because if he's fit and firing, because that's our next game, bro. When we come back.
Yeah, that is our next game. Yeah,
and if he's injured.
Anyone could give us trouble at this point with that.
Right. To be fair,
it's not just Saint Max. It's not just Saint Max. Was that foul in the build-up though?
Nah, it wasn't his strength, bro. The shoulder strength,
yeah,
bro.
It's just strength. It's just strength.
Man. It's just that's called leading off. That's when you lean on them, man. Just say that's my ball, mate. Get off.
So yeah, Burnley look in trouble though. I know Sean Dyche has come out and says he needs help and things of that.
Bro,
nature.
they've not signed anyone though, and I'm looking at the thing now. Stroke, can you see them signing anybody? The only thing what's good for Burnley is that today it's not yet the domestic transfer is still open, so they'll be able to sign players from the Championship and stuff like that. This is only the European one tonight.
Yeah, but basically, so Burnley are having problems
Massively.
with the owners not willing to spend the money. Dyche is starting to get frustrated. Like he wanted Harry Wilson, but they ended up pulling out of that deal. They got Dale Stevens on loan from Brighton, which is a weird one. He's a good footballer. He can dictate the pace of a game. He's a good technical footballer, but you look at how Burnley play, I just don't think he suits that style. So it's a strange, and it was like Harry Wilson was a strange signing for him. But they need to strengthen.
But even now, how many players that they let go? You know what I mean? Players that they couldn't even hold on to. Like, you know what I mean? My guy's gone to. He was one of their best players, the Irish international, and he's gone to Newcastle. Do you know what I mean? He was one of their best players, man. And they just let him go like that, and I'm just like,
Hendrick
wow,
Hendrick's a strange one.
To me, I'm like, why would you let him go? And then they let a couple of other players go, but then nothing's coming in. But then I look at them and think, listen, you've been in the Premier League. This man stabilised you, right? He stabilised you, right? For the amount of population you have, this is a Greater Manchester City town, you know. This is a town in Greater Manchester. If you look at it, you know what I mean. And the population you've got, this man is literally doing miracles, just keeping you in the Premier League. So the amount of TV money you've had in the last how many years you've been in, right? You are pocketing in that, right? Because I can't see the overheads, right? The expenses, right? To manage Burnley, to manage the club store. I can't see you paying massive bonuses to all those men who work at Burnley. So, you know what I mean? These are working class people. So where is the money going? Are you doing like Man United? Are you Dividends FC now? But in that, you know what? That's what you're doing. Because how many hundreds of millions have you got from the TV money to stay in the Premier League? And what have you done with that team? Because you've not improved the stadium. You've not built a new stadium. What have you spent that money on? Why are you not? If you just give him like 70 million, Dyche could find some of these players in the Championship, even in League 2, and polish them because he'll fit the system that he likes to play. He's done, and you'll find a lot of those battlers in the Championship. Yeah, in the Championship, bro. In the Championship, or sitting. Some of these guys are sitting on the bench in a lot of the Premier League teams. So he could find that. He could find those. But help him out. What are you doing to him? That's what I don't see. Because one thing I would say, that football, every football, right? There's no wrong or right way of playing football. That we have our preferences how football likes to be played. And especially if you support a big club, you have the certain arrogance. So Liverpool or United, there's a certain way you have to play entertaining football. That comes with the territory. But for Sean Dyche, what he's done, Sean Dyche is a genius, mate. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah, of course. I give him all the credit.
Teams are going in and out of the Premier League, and my guys, season after season, everybody knows how they play. Everybody knows what's coming. Everybody knows the second ball is the battle, because that's what they train with. The only type of training that they do in their training ground is that second balls. We're talking about dead ball with Bielsa. Second ball. He absolutely perfected that. That's why I was watching Newcastle. The ball was in the air for about a minute because the ball kept headering because everybody then is geared. They're automatic, like these soldiers. Just everybody's getting up there, battling. So when he was moaning about
the push,
I'm like, give over, Dyche, man. Give over.
That's what it is.
That's your game. That's how your team plays.
And you have to give him credit as well for them staying up in the manner in which they do, because it's not like they scrape it on the last day of the season. They're always comfortable. They're always 14 for above 10th.
In the last 3 seasons, regardless of the manager, they've come to Old Trafford and gone 2-0 up. In the last 3 seasons. And I tell people, that is a derby for them when they come to Old Trafford. But everybody goes, little old Burnley. I'm like, no, it's a derby. It's their biggest game.
That's mad. I've never even thought of that as a derby, but like,
it's facts, because Blackburn are nowhere to be seen.
Bro,
that's
the team. Bolton is a derby.
That's the team that's like trouble. Northwest.
Bro, it is the Greater Manchester cities, bro. They're in the Greater Manchester area.
But quickly, we'll touch on Arsenal beating Sheffield United.
That was close, man.
2-1. Go on, Strong. Your last thoughts on it before we do wrap up.
Sheffield United finally scored a goal. It is the first thing because let me just talk up my MVP.
Go
Michael
on. Last point
Edwards.
on it, and then we'll close out
Michael
the show.
Edwards. 25 million for Liam Brewster, who's never kicked a Premier League
It's
ball.
incredible.
It's phenomenal business, and which is why you have a sport.
That guy's Houdini, mate. Houdini. I don't call him Edwards anymore. It's Houdini.
Like it's phenomenal business, but listen, it was a close game, bit nervy towards the end for Arsenal, but they're doing what they need to win, which is a good sign. And then you add the party onto that, phenomenal. But there's a stat which I just want to read to you, which is obviously touching on.
Shout out Saeed for dropping a super chat. He says, big up High Radio, man. Salute for that. Appreciate it, innit? See what I'm saying? Your people support. Make sure you go subscribe to United Central because you can catch Nuradin and Aaron on there with Saeed on the Straight Jacket podcast. You can catch myself and Straw on there on many a show because we go live all the time. We don't stop working. I know Nuradin's working on starting his own new YouTube channel as well, aren't you?
Yeah,
I know that's coming. We need that, man.
That's coming,
we need that. Someone said it. We need that therapy. That's what it is. We need that. We're looking forward to that.
Trust me, it's already always in full effect, man.
Okay, so Nuradin, let him know before we close out the show. Well, thank yous both for coming on. This has been a great show, definitely.
Yeah,
Nuradin, let him know where they can find you or your socials.
You know what? Let's let him drop the stats. Sorry, I'm really interested in the stats. Sorry, go on, Joe.
Right, so Premier League spending this season.
Yeah.
Arsenal 82 million.
Yeah.
So this is just the number of clubs. Aston Villa 74 million. Chelsea 222 million. Everton 67. Leeds 79. Leicester 55. Liverpool 71. Manchester City 141. Sheffield United have pulled out of nowhere and spent 50 million. Spurs 88 million. And Wolves 71 million. Manchester United 49 million pound.
This is net spend.
No, this is overall spend.
Overall spend.
Well, now as we listen, and we're still looking for loan signings. In the last hours of the transfer, we're looking for loan signings.
Scrambling around.
And can I just ask, did your Houdini, how much money has he rejected? 45 million in terms of money.
Yeah, 45 million.
That's incredible.
Nuts. So yeah, Nuradin, give him your socials real quick.
That guy, Red Devil, you know what? To get that real therapy, man, you know me. I just tell it. I'll try to make you laugh sometimes because I make you forget about football. Like last night, I was giving tips to them to say, go and watch 5 or 10, mate, after that, when you watch a game.
Yeah, fam, I just watched the new Power Talks. Let them know where they can find you socials.
Yeah, my socials is
Talks 2K20.
Yeah, big up Flawless, man. Keep it flawless in the clip at all times. You get me?
Make sure you follow Talks across all his socials, Twitter and Instagram. That's TOX2K20.
My guy.
That's right. And make sure you follow From a Third Eye View across all socials as well. Ahmed, my bad. We had 2 guests on. That's why I didn't get to all the messages. So my apologies. But, you know, that's the way the show goes. But yes, From a Third Eye View, make sure you follow it across all platforms. So Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. And it's the number 3, From a Third Eye View. Follow myself, Stro. JV will be back next week as well. We'll be discussing... What will we be discussing? Probably the rest of any transfers that happen after.
I need to come back with JVs on, man, because me and him catch jokes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, you man have an open door policy here. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, and this has been From a Third Eye View on Pi Radio. We will be back next week on Monday, 7 p.m. Make sure
Internationals.
Yeah. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Peace.
49.